bitch. Oh, excuse you? Baloney wash. I'm annoyed. I'm just here to give my opinion. And Carey Annie. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Yo, welcome and happy Sunday. It's the Lord's Day. Are you coming to get delivered? It's your boy Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show we basically talk about all things going on in celebrity news, pop culture, and hot topics. So if that's a show for you, definitely stick around because we have a lot of tea to spill today, including, as dates now for the Mayhem Ball. We're going to get into that, my overall thoughts regarding that. Plus, we got to talk about this Ava Max Don't Click Play review. Finally, Dineva was out here being messy by posting that little post that he did about Tamar Braxton. We're going to get into that. Uh, Backstreet Boys apparently we're going to get into the amount of money they're going to be making with this upcoming residency. Well, they already did the residency. It's going to be like 7 more dates added. So there was a thing done on it. We'll get into it. Plus, we got to talk about Dexter and the fact that how they gave us Resurrection but canceled Original Sin, and the peoples is pissed. So we're going to get into that. Plus, we got to get into the story about Lil Nas X and his family. About they're going to take dramatic steps to save him over fears that he may end up being the next Matthew Perry. Then we got to get into this Mariah Carey tea regarding the fact that, she's getting the video Vanguard. Seems like a lot of people's not too happy with it. So we'll get into that. Plus, Madonna's 29-year-old boyfriend may have inspired her to lead them damn fillers in them facial sculpting procedures alone. So we're going to get into that. Plus, we got to get into this homosexual scandal that's rocking the MAGA party. Because there's some story going around about a closeted congressman who's engaged to a woman who's being accused of living a double life. But then again, name a politician that isn't a Republican that doesn't live a double life. So we'll get into that story. Plus, we got a lot of drag race news and a lot of drag race drama. So apparently, Aja and Kandy Muse, half of the House of Aja, is going in and letting half on a lot of the haters on that have been throwing shade at their actual the tour that they're on, even to the point where Elliott with 2 T's jumped into the conversation and now they're dragging her online. I got the videos, I got the tweets, I got the receipts. So sit back, relax, get y'all a drink or finish up on your din because we definitely gonna break that story down. Plus, speaking of drag race drama, apparently Lexi Love is there's someone who has trademarked the name. I was so confused because I was like, is it a corn star or is it somebody that's an actor that's an AI recipient? I don't know. I keep hearing 2 different conflicting stories. Maybe they both the same damn person. But excuse me. Apparently, she's fighting to keep her name, and there's been a lot of drama going on regarding that. And then, last but certainly not least, we got to get into this Drag Race UK Meet the Queen situation because the girls was revealed, and so we got to get into that story. So, before we get to those topics, if you please do me a solid, hit that like button. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Also, be sure to smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Later on the show, I will be going in and putting in the time codes and all the other stuff. So for those who watch the playback, can just go right to the topics at hand instead of having to sit through all the banter that we do on the show. Please and thank you. And as I'm sitting here trying to adjust the audio on this new mic, because I don't know what it was. I think my other mic was a mess. Because y'all already know when the last show that we did, I was having mic issues. All of a sudden my mic stopped working and I literally had to hold it together with scotch glue and duct tape to try to get through this whole show. And we made it. We made it. We managed to make the show work and everything. So I was really happy about that because I watched back the show, even though there was a little technical issues. For the most part, the mic worked and everything. But I'm like, oh, I like the sound of my voice booming through this situation. So maybe this mic is a lot better. It's a little party mic. Y'all can see how cute it is. I like it. I'm feeling like Casey Kasem up in this bitch. So I got myself, I had to go emergency, go online. I was looking up microphones and stuff. This was like the cutest one. There says like good for podcasting, AM8 dynamic microphone, pay like $60 for it. So I was like, I want to get something nice, cute, to the point. You don't have to do no downloading of all this other technical stuff. You could just plug it right in to your computer and it automatically works. So, and that's what I needed because I didn't want nothing too extravagant. I know everybody does the Shure microphones, and one of these days I will move up to that with the little thing that you attach to it, and it hangs over your head, and you can talk. Like one day I will get in my DJ bag and have all the bells and whistles. But I like keeping my shit cute and simple. And I don't know. This might sound better. Let me know what if it does in the comments. But without further ado, so we got my mic situation fixated. Let me hit my banner, and I see Onyx is in the building so far. We got a couple of people already coming in with the show. And so now let's get into our first topic and let's talk about the Mayhem Ball. So, for those of y'all know, I work at MSG. I did work the Mayhem Ball, the first two shows. We're dark for the next 2 days. That's today and tomorrow. And then Tuesday starts up the show again. So, Tuesday and Wednesday, those will be the four that she's doing this month. And then she has two more that's coming in September. Those are the ones I'm doing. I'm actually doing the Tuesday show. The Wednesday show, I'm not doing. I'll be at City Field that day. But for the most part, I know a lot of people saying that she should have did this show at a stadium situation. I'm like, no. First of all, this show fits perfectly in an arena, especially the way the set design and everything is. The runway, the fact that it has like a LED screen and stuff in the runway, and how it turns into blood before it goes up into the actual stage part where she comes out. And yeah, when a lot of the stuff that you've seen is very similar to what we saw on, what was it, Gaga is what they called it. So yeah, so there's a lot of pieces that were taken from that show and was brought into this show, which I know people had trepidations about because they didn't want to go around trying to spend money on a show that they actually saw on Coachella. Even if you weren't there, you could just go on YouTube and watch the whole show. But that show is not this show. So it is definitely worth the money in so many situations. I know we had issues with people were talking about that their views were obstructed on the 8th floor. They didn't even have the screens on. And I had to deal with complaints about that. But I'm just like, look, it's up to the people that rent the space. They didn't put the screens on. They probably didn't pay for it, whatever the case is. So they were pretty much asked out. I know a lot of people were upset. They wanted to be accommodated, but it was like we had a huge ADA situation. And this is the gag for me. Because I think a lot of people, especially me working these type of events, I thought that her fan base would be relatively like her age, like people in their 30s, younger people. I didn't think that she would have like people a lot older, like people who needed to be in a wheelchair section. They got leg problem, knee problems. They got cane. There was a lot of older people there, like people that in their 60s and 70s. I think even so, it was like people of all ages, and that goes to show you that Lady Gaga hits all demographics, which gagged me because I'm like, really, there's like regular people that look like they live out in Long Island and New Jersey or the suburbs or whatever that listen to her music, but apparently they do. And she definitely gives a good show. When she opened up the show, she came out to Bloody Mary, of course, in that big dress thing that looked like a cage. And then she goes into Abracadabra and then Judas and all that other stuff. And Shiza, which I actually love when she performs that song. That's like one of my favorite Gaga songs from, what was that, from Born This Way? Yeah, so, and she played a lot of cuts from the first album, Born This Way. Then she did dabble in a couple of, like we heard Aura at the end. I mean, she did do Aura at one part. I think it was like at the end or whatever, but she does close out the show. One of the things I like about the show too is that when she closes out to like, it's like when have you ever seen like a fashion show and like when they all come out at the end and they kind of do their little bow or whatever the case was. So they would play like a track to that. And one of the songs that she would do would be, well, the first night she gave Heavy Metal Lover, and then the second night it was Government Hooker. So I did like that. And then there's like, she did add like two songs to the situation or switch them out because also I heard, because when I came in, I actually heard her do Edge of Glory. And where she was rehearsing to that. And then the next day it was Marry the Night. So I did like the fact that, and that was like the piano section when she comes in, she changes up the songs. And I'm like, it's easy to do that. First of all, if you're sitting at the piano, you got the piano, the sheet music, and all other stuff, you can pretty much just freestyle and change the songs every night. And I also like that the show wasn't rehearsed to the point where, like, if at the point when they have that breakdown when they're at the table, or not even at the table, like when they're at the piano and they sit and they talk about, well, like they tell a little story, whatever the case was. It's not the same story because sometimes I'll be working multiple shows. I'm like, Chad, you told that story yesterday, but she changed it up. So I like that. And then giving the stories about her fighting in New York and like trying to get to where she is today. So I was like, that was all cute and everything. And it was sold out, child. So there was no seat empty in the house. So like when people were trying to get moved around, whatever the case is, it was like, nah, it's not happening because these shows are sold out. Now I'm sure like all the other shows, and people were telling me them tickets was expensive. So um I'm like, I don't know how y'all gonna sit up here and afford these shows. That's why a lot of us opt to work them for free. I mean, not work them free because we get paid to work them, but we opt to work the events rather than pay for it because a lot of them tickets is crazy expensive. And people think that we get accommodations, meaning like, oh, we get discount on tickets. No, we get full price. But the only difference is all the extra fees are waived if you're an employee. So we don't have to pay all the extra amenities that a regular person would have to if they go on Ticketmaster or SeatGeek or whatever situation y'all use. So yeah, well, all I've been say, I definitely enjoyed the show. I thought it was a good show. The first night, I didn't really get to sit and watch everything and get to enjoy the full show. Like I got to peek in on pieces or whatever, but because I was going, it was so much stuff happening in where I was at that I couldn't really concentrate on the show. Yesterday was way better. Like I could really sit and take it all in and all that other stuff. I actually like how her whole stage and everything was set up. And I know some people was like, yeah, you should do stadiums or whatever. And I feel like y'all wouldn't have got the same effect. You can't really get all the effect and everything of the show. And I do wonder, because someone also said that there were rumors going around that she's going to be like recording a performance of like for the VMAs. I don't know what song she's gonna choose. I mean, is she even releasing singles at this point? Maybe she'll do how bad you want me or something, which it technically is the closeout song. Like she's taking off her makeup, she's under the stage, backstage. And then she kind of comes through the crowd. I mean, like not the crowd. There is a part that she does go through the crowd. That's when she sings. Oh my God, what was the song that she's saying that she's dedicated to her fiance? She like, I mean, she was doing it on the regular. I mean, like on the Coachella tour, like walking through the audience, but she only goes around this like the front part of the stage and then comes back. So, um, oh, and another thing, when it comes to a lot of these shows, it's like we can walk around and do whatever. This show was real tight, airtight with the security and specifics. Like we couldn't even go in back a house because they were like, if y'all take y'all phones out, they're gonna assume that you're taking video, photo, whatever. It is not allowed. If you do it, you can get terminated. And I be telling people that all the time. This is why I tell y'all when I meet celebrities and I'm around celebrities and I'm working with celebrities and stuff, y'all just gonna have to take my word for it. If you don't believe me, oh well. But there's a reason why you will never see me taking or any kind of photos, video, whatever, if I'm working at an event, is because it is not allowed. And I'm not trying to lose my job just so that way I can prove to people that I'm working in certain type of events. So the best thing that I was like, what all of us did, avoid back a house because one of my coworkers like, oh, because she likes to be naked. I'm like, first of all, I don't even think that's the damn reason. Because she's an exhibition, she likes to be naked. I'm like, that's not the reason. You just pulled out your ass. I truly believe that the reason why she does that is because with a lot of stuff that's going on backstage, behind the scenes, whatever the case is, they don't want anything to end up on the internet. And then, of course, and then, of course, she's also a very private person. Now, if somebody would tell me I can't look the bitch in the eye, then I'm like, oh no, we're not doing that Hannah for Lopez stuff. Where it's like, oh, I can't look at what you gonna do. It's like you're not gonna sit up there and tell me I can't look where where hell I'm gonna look. But because there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of bells and whistles, a lot of craziness. I don't even the last thing I'm thinking about when I'm dismissed to go home is let me go see if I can get a picture. I got hell fucking no. I'm ready to go home. I don't care about this stuff no more. I've been dealing with a lot of people and a lot of drama. When you dealing in guest service and all the other stuff, when you're dealing with a lot of people, a lot of issues, a lot of drunk people, a lot of people on drugs or whatever the case is, and all kinds of situations that's going on, you don't have time to be sitting here worrying about getting this picture, getting that person in that situation. Everybody else there is there to have a good time. And my job basically is to make sure that everything runs smoothly and everybody is having a good time and no drama ensues. If that happens, then I get them on the line and deal with what needs to be dealt with and get assistance, security, everything. Child, now the last thing you need to do is call security because you call security, they roll deep. Like we got security, we got the NYPD, we got. I'm like, God damn, because it was a situation that happened to my mom where this girl was talking about she was assaulted, and I was like, I remember somebody told me in a roll call they was just like, be careful because I mean they said somebody went and reported an incident that happened to them and it went underreported and the person I don't know they told the person ain't do nothing and I was like I don't want that to fall on me. I don't want people to be going on saying that I told so and so this and nothing was done, and then it rolls up on me and I end up getting fired. So to cover my butt, am talking with the guard and the other security guard, all this other stuff. I was like, I'm gonna put this on record. I'm gonna make the call, whatever the case is, so that way they handle it. They know what went on in that whole situation. The girl didn't want to report it because she was just like, I just want to make sure everything goes fine. I don't want nobody to get kicked out. I'm like, ma'am, if somebody assaults you, whatever the case is, it's our job to make sure that the people in there are safe. We can't just be like, oh, well, I'm just going to go and enjoy the show or whatever the case is, and then just leave it go undone. So I ain't got time to be sitting running up and down the steps, checking in on you and babysitting you to make sure you don't get hit. Now, if you come down and tell me that somebody hit you again, I'm going to be like, I need you to point it out. And then in that case, we can protect the people that's up in there because we've had incidents where people going in and letting have and wanting to start fights or get into fights or whatever the case is, and it gets diffused. So, um, so yeah, other than that, it was a good show. I'm looking forward to working the Tuesday show. So that way I could really get in the pocket and take it, taking every aspect of the show. I like the visuals. I like the way that the stage was set up. The choreography was really good. That and trust and believe when I tell you that mic was on because Lady Gaga sings down. I was gagged. I was thoroughly impressed. I mean, we know she can sing. That goes without saying. But hitting on them notes, she was being a little dramatic. I would say Christina Aguilera melodramatic with the vocals, but for the most part, she was up there singing her ass off and performing. And I didn't realize how tiny she is too. And even more so when she's in flats, because she does wear flats a lot in the show, it makes her look petite compared to a lot of her dancers. And the fact that they're carrying her around a lot. So I like the fact that, yeah, a lot of the girls and the guys, not the girls saying that they look muscular, but the girls had like their upper body was like, it takes a lot of core strength and stuff to be, but I guess that's what happens when you're doing Paris's choreography is that you got to have a lot of that upper body strength and all that good stuff. So I say all this to say overall, it was a great show. If you have not seen the Mayhem Ball, definitely check it out. I am genuinely curious as to what because I am working the show that she's supposed, the day of the VMAs. I just got my official schedule. So yeah, I am scheduled for the last two in September, meaning the September 7th one, I believe is the final one. And that's the same day that she was nominated for like a dozen VMAs, which sorry to tell y'all, she's not gonna be able to go because she is performing at the Garden. So they did all of this nominating, and Gaga ain't even gonna be there. She's gonna be via satellite getting her awards, or they probably gonna pre-record the awards and stuff. But I'm having a feeling like if she is doing something for the VMAs, I'm wondering if she's gonna do it on the off days because we're dark at at MSG for like I told y'all for the next 2 days. So I was like, it's really no point of them taking down the stage and everything because if we don't have anything going on today and tomorrow and not until Tuesday, then it's like might as well leave the stage up. All they gotta do is just mop the floors, sweep up everything, and make sure that everything is cleaned up before we come back to work. And we might have to just renumber the floor and everything so that way everybody knows where they're supposed to go. But other than that, it was like it's really no point in taking everything apart to put it back up. So I do wonder if on the dark day she's gonna film stuff because they said that she was supposed to film something yesterday in our driveway, and people were like, we don't have a driveway, and I'm like, if there's that little intersection spot where we host like the I don't know if we've done one for the Rangers, but I know we did one for well not this year because they suck this year. No shade, just saying. But y'all know how bad the Rangers did. But the Knicks, when they made it to the playoffs, we did host like a viewing party, and then we had to stop that because people was acting a damn fool. But when we were hosting the viewing party, there was like this little section, like it's like a part like where a lot of the cars come in. We have a parking garage on the right hand side. No, on the left hand side, and on the right we have like is where the arena is, and then we have certain like load in and the trucks and everything that needs to go in, or some of the artists when they gotta come in and stuff. There's that spot on the right. So if you talking about that little section, and then you want the fans to come down and just be in the background while you perform in the street for whatever performance you're going to do, then you could do that on the off day. But I don't know if she's going to want to be like perform a specific song and have them record it in the middle of the VMAs. Be like, okay, Gaga, we gotta time everything in a way where we're gonna let show like you went live, and now let's record this segment from MSG and that whole performance. So I don't know how they're gonna do it, but I ain't seen nothing yesterday regarding. Even though they said yesterday was supposed to be the day. Was it yesterday or was it the 20? I'm trying to remember if it was the 23rd because I was like, if they said the 24th, that'd be the day and they could do it today. But I'll definitely keep an eye on it. So let me finish yapping about this whole situation. So yeah, My question for you is this: did you see the Mayhem Ball? And I'm talking about beside not just on the internet and all the other stuff. Have you actually checked out the Mayhem Ball? What did you think of the Mayhem Ball? Was it everything you ever dreamed of? Did it give you your life? Was it the best Gaga concert you ever seen? I've never seen her. I mean, I have seen her other concerts on the internet, but this was the first time I've actually been to and worked a Gaga show, and I was totally impressed. She definitely is. I can't think of none of these younger kids of this generation that performs to that magnitude. So yeah, it's like when you get somebody that big, you got to definitely make sure that all the I's dotted, T's crossed, security's tight, all that other stuff. So yeah, it was definitely mayhem at MSG. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. It says, hello. Did you notice that she wore the Born This Way denim jacket during the heavy metal? You actually saw that You saw that? Yeah, she did. She definitely did wear the Born This Way. And yeah, during the bow, she see, you know I wasn't lying. It was like they closed out the heavy metal, and I was like, I love the fact that she picked like certain songs. She heavily focused on Born This Way. I would have loved to see her perform the Edge of Glory and Marry the Night. Yeah, she did perform Edge of Glory, Marry the Night. Those were the piano sections. Hearing those songs sung with just her and the piano, it definitely worked for me. I was like, okay, this is cute. Yeah, definitely. That was the song Vanish into You. I don't know why I couldn't think of that damn song. It's very Bowie-esque. Magical Mermaids in the building. Not sure how you retain all this info. I don't know how I retain it either, but I do. I didn't even, and funny enough, I didn't even write notes down. That's the crazy part. I was hoping and praying. I was like, I hope I remember everything um during the during the show when I got to talk. So yeah, I'm good in that way. Now, if you put a script in front of me and ask me to memorize it, I'll probably look at you crazy. But for some information, I mean, for some reason, I could look at stuff and it sucks and sticks into my brain like a damn sponge. So, it'll be cute to see what other songs that she chooses on the other days that I'm going to be working there. The only thing is, well, I guess I'll only know if I go online for the Wednesday show because I told you I'm at City Field that day, so I'm not going to be able to work that one. I just saw I'm working Benson Boone's concert. I was upset that I ain't getting no Tate McRae's. I'm like, wait a minute now, how you don't give me that? But she does have a show coming in October, so more than likely I'll be get that. Is that what it's called? Symbiosis? All right, I'm a symbiote. Isn't that what got up in Venom? I joke. Um, I was really hoping and praying, even though I could hear it in my ears. I'm like, I really hope y'all can't hear this fan on. If y'all can, I'm sorry, but um, it's hot, especially when you got all these lights and stuff on you. And I'm not gonna sit up here in no heat, look like I'm melting, like I'm Donald Trump, looking like his skin coming off his body. Because if y'all can hear the fan, but if y'all hear the fan, let me know. If y'all can, I apologize. I'm actually liking it too. I need to start watching it earlier. I got to start watching it so late because when I watch it late, I'm always falling asleep on it. And when I am awake, I like what I see. So um I definitely have to really get into that show. But I'm like procrastinating with it because I hate watching weekly shows. I like to binge stuff. So I want to give it a little bit of, some leg room before I start to binge. Oh, well, thank you. You said we can't hear the fan, but we can hear. Okay, because it's hitting the headphones. That's why. But that's why I said, when I got this microphone, I was thoroughly impressed because I was like, wait a minute, it sounds better than the last one. That last one, and then I kept only hearing out of one ear, so that was another thing that was an issue. So I was like, okay, it's this piece of shit mic. So I'm glad I got this new one. Money well spent. So yeah, I'm sitting there holding it in my hand so that way it's a lot closer because I don't know, I'm so used to now not putting a mic down and I gotta be careful because this mic is very sensitive. And if I bent turn it a certain way or whatever, I feel like I'm gonna hit the mute button by accident because the mute button is literally in front of me. So I don't want to hit it by accident and I end up muting myself. I'm muting myself. I'm muting myself. The cyborgs and replicants are the real focus of the narrative. Yeah. And the fact that you got this what is it? Like one of that black dude, he's pissing me off. where it's like he's doing, I don't know what his motive, well, I don't know. I haven't seen the third episode yet, so I don't know what his motive is and why he's trying to, why he's doing all these little saboteur situations to get this alien. Like, who you trying to get it to? And I like Timothy Oliphant too. I'm like, who's he supposed to be? Because he got that white hair and all that other stuff. You say I love Raised by Wolves. What's that? Was that another TV show? Or maybe I do know. Yeah, Don't Click Play is a good record, which, speaking of which, funny you mention that because we about to get into her. Let's talk about Ava Max. So I don't know if y'all know, but Ava Max or Ava Kochi, because I believe that's her name, KOCI. You know, I read the liner notes on who write what. So Miss Mama done released her a brand new album called Don't Click Play, which, you know me, if you tell me not to do something, I'm gonna do it. So I actually listened to the album, and I got to say, out of many dance pop records that came out this year, Ava Max definitely slays with this record. I don't know what the hell people were sleeping on. I was a little worried at first because I'm like, you know, nobody cares about this girl. But when I listened to the record, because I was like, you know what, let me just listen to it. Stop being so damn judgmental. And I think it was because of the way the rollout of the thing was. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just take it into consideration what some people were saying. I'm gonna listen to the record, and to be honest, I think it's a really good album. So, the album came out over the week. You know who album also came out this weekend that I totally forgot about? Sierra. And I haven't heard anything about that. I did hear that some people saying in the comments that her music has turned into like nursery rhyme jingles for her kids, and they miss old CC or whatever the case is. I'm like, you know what? Artists can evolve and grow, but I have to admit, like early Sierra, when she was giving that crunk and being all the other stuff, like she's not giving me that no more. Her music kind of bores me, and I think it was because I was disappointed with that last independent album that she did, and then the ones like the albums over the years. So I'm kind of lost interest in her. But I think when I have the time, I am gonna just be like, you know what? Let me just boggle down and listen to the Sierra record. But right now, when I'm stuck on a record, that's what I focus on. And I've been focusing on Ava Max a lot because I never in a long time, I can't remember the last time I actually listened to an album back to back three times straight. Like I can't even think about that because it's like sonically the production is good, the chorus and everything is catchy, and I know a lot of people get on her about trying to be a Lady Gaga copycat, and she does get into that in the opener, "Don't Click Play," and which is the title track of the record or the album track, yeah, title track. That's what they call it. So I do like "Don't Click Play." It is a good opener. Is it the strongest song on the record? No, but it is the opener, and it definitely is getting people's attention, especially because there's like a little Lady Gaga reference, which is kind of like, okay, now I guess if you that obsessed with, you know, putting these girls against each other, yeah, you be caught up in all of that. But when you listen to the song, I'm like, okay, it's cute. But I'm into the song, so I'm enjoying it. But and there are some songs on the albums that are like repeat listening. Like there's two songs. Well, actually, there's three songs. There's a couple of songs. But if I had to choose the songs that I always have on repeat that I have to listen to over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, How Can I Dance is literally the standout record for me on this record. I love How Can I Dance. The only problem I have with the song is it's too damn short. Like I feel like I wanted that chorus to last a little bit longer. Other than that, it's a perfect pop song. I'm actually obsessed with that song and I Need More. So I am living for that track. Another track that I'm obsessed with is Skin in the Game. That song is another one, especially that chorus part. And you know, what always gets me is a good hook. That always pulls me in. Like I'll listen to the lyrics and everything, but it's production first, hook second. Then I go into the lyrics. That's always how my brain has been wired since I learned to play classic piano and all that other stuff as a kid. So my ear is always like, I'm here for a good earworm, but it's always got to be the production first that draws me in. And then it's like you come up with different melodies and different ideas and all that other stuff. So I was definitely obsessed with that song. So it was like, yeah, when you listen to this record, it's no skips. Like I feel like every song stands out. How Can I Dance? You already know I'm obsessed with that song. I do love Loving Myself because, you know, apparently according to her, you know, some of the things, I think one of the issues that people have always had with Ava Max is that she doesn't come across as personable, that people don't feel like she's relatable in some sort of way. But I feel like with this album, you do, if you actually take the time to listen to the song, she's definitely telling you about some of the things she's been through. Like the self-confidence or the lack thereof. Like when you have songs as loving myself, and then you have songs when you've gone through relationships and stuff. When you hear a song like "Sucks to Be My Ex," if you've ever been in some ish with a no good ass man or woman, "Sucks to Be My Ex" definitely is like the perfect pop song to really get you in your feelings in a good way. And then Wet Hot American Dream, I don't know. I started having like these little cowgirl type situations. Like I was thinking cowgirl choreography and stuff in my like I think it would be like a fun comedic little satirical play if she wanted to do a video on that. But so yeah, Know Somebody, Lose Your Faith, which feels like a very much a religious song of sorts, but not polarizing to the way where it's like it feels preachy. Fight for Me is also a good song. I love Fight for Me too. That's another song that stands out on because it's like, well, yeah, I need you to wake the hell up and show like you actually care about me and give a damn and want me to be here in this whole situation. So I was loving that. One of the things I've realized that I cannot sit through, I can't sit through album reaction videos. It depends on the person because there'd be some, and I've seen a couple of y'all that put out don't click play album reactions. The all edits be pissing me off. I don't know what like I understand like you try that I guess because of copyright or whatever the case is, the choppy editing. I was like, I can't sit through this. It's gonna drive me crazy. The way y'all just go and listen to these songs and there's so many choppy cuts up in there. And then I look and I'm like, the edit, like the video reaction is shorter than the actual album. And I'm like, okay, I'm not sitting through 10 minutes of this mess. So I'd be turning y'all off. But this is how I feel like I'm more comfortable doing is like when I listen to a record, I just give y'all the tea. And then they have World's Smallest Violin, which I actually love. And I be doing that a lot of times on this show when I be talking about World's Smallest Violin. I'm playing the World's Smallest Violin like I give a ish about what y'all be saying. No, not y'all, but I'm just saying like in general when certain people be saying certain things. And so yeah, I would say like in the words of Cobra, I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. I was gonna be like, I'm not gonna be so generous, 9.5 or whatever the case is, but I love this record so much. I'm obsessed with this album. There were songs that was pre-released before this album came out that are not on the record. I cannot remember what the name of those songs were, but it also goes to show you. Oh, what this goes to show you, I realized, is that um I think the days of the singles artists are no longer are null and void. I really think so because remember like the old guard way of doing things where it's like you got to release like maybe 2 or 3 singles before you drop the record and all the other stuff and people still trying to follow that old guard way of releasing music. But I truly feel like those days are done. Like I don't think we really need to be releasing singles because when you release singles or whatever the case, and I'm sure those singles are still out there that didn't make it to the record, which I actually like when they do that. It's like, we're just going to release some throwaway singles, or maybe y'all will consider it throwaway, but let's release a couple of singles. They're out there. If you want to listen to them, you can get them on iTunes or wherever, or Apple Music, wherever you get your music. But when you listen to the record is there's a story here. It's beginning, middle, end. It takes you on a journey. And I feel like with this record, it actually does that. So to me, I feel like out of the many records that she's released in the past, um, especially, Diamonds and Dance Floors, I already told you, I work out to that record. But now this is a record I'll probably be working out to and Diamonds and Dance Floors. But I feel like out of all the records that Ava Max has released so far, this is the most consistent in regards of quality pop. And what I think this album does is it proves that she does not need Circuit to be successful because Circuit went over there and ran Lady Gaga to work on Mayhem. And Ava started working with new people. Even Ryan Tedder has a credit on there. So she was working with him too. And I like Ryan Tedder's, writing and all that other stuff. I like his production. And her working with other producers, other Europop dance producers, or whatever you want to call it, I feel like that basically helps her stand out instead of her having to be um the ex-girl of Circuit, who is a good producer, but to me, it feels like once she got rid of him and once she started working with her, and I know she's under new management. I don't know off the top of my head who her stuff is because I'm one of the things I'm upset about is I didn't get a chance to read that Rolling Stone article because I saw that it was out, but it was like a block thing on there. So I'm probably gonna have to copy and paste it to my website so that way I could read it that way and post it up for those who want to get beyond that little firewall that Rolling Stone be wanting people to pay for. So I want to read that article because it goes deep into why she disappeared and for this whole promotional up to the release of the record, and a lot of personal things has been going on in her life. So I definitely want to get around to reading that article. So I'm gonna see if I'll do it right after the show, because obviously I can't do it during. So I'll say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Have you gotten a chance to listen to "Don't Click Play" by Ava Max? And if you have, what are your overall thoughts? So whatever those thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. All right, let me hold up. I was like, why am I hearing things? I'm like bugging. I thought somebody was behind me. It's like it's the ghost. Oh, we got somebody over on the Twitch saying hello, hello, hello. Jackie was her last best album. She gives us cute bops like Level Up. Yeah, I need more of those. The opening track using like a monk chant and love to the play. Don't click play because you're gonna repeat it. OMG, you missed it. It was a sci-fi show created produced by Ridley Scott. Only 2 seasons, used to be on HBO. Yeah, I probably did miss that one when it came out. Raised by Wolves, set it on. Oh, wait a minute. I do know that show. What am I talking about? I did watch that. Wasn't it? Wait, wasn't it on Apple TV or something? Oh, no, you're right. It was on HBO. I did watch that show. I watched the first season and then I watched half of the second season. I just totally forgot what it was called. Yeah, it was that bald headed chick, right? She looked non-binary, tasked with raising human children on Kepler 22b after the Earth is destroyed by a great war. Yeah, I did watch that show. Sucks to be my ex. Yeah, that production. Pop Head said it best. Ava understands pop melodies. Yes, she does. And to me, she didn't. To me, I feel like with her doing the music she's doing, she's been consistent with the Euro dance and stuff. She didn't feel insecure to the point where, oh, people aren't taking me seriously as a musician or as a pop star, as an artist. So I have to go off and do jazz, and I have to go do these different sounds, and all these other sounds wasn't working. And they wanted you to come back to the sound that put you on the map. Hence why we got Mayhem. And it's no shade to Gaga, but I'm just saying that to me, I'd rather somebody who is consistent with the sound that they do. I'm not saying that you need to just release the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. But if your foundation is pop and Euro dance and that sort of thing, there's so many different genres of that music that you could tap into and continue to build that whole situation. But that works for her, and that other journey was for Gaga. So, they are who they are. The video is Ava doing a strip tease in front of the American flag. Oh, so there is a video to that? I don't think I seen the video. You said, oh, I was like, what is that? A violin? One of the things is Cleveland is obsessed with that record too. He said Kesha and Ava was the queerest album, Spot a Fake, which is about a friend Madison having an affair with Circuit, and My Oh My was a standalone singles. Madison, yeah, and where is Madison Beer? And I'm loving Perry wait, what? And I'm loving Perry's. He would if he wanted to. Oh, you're talking about the song. I haven't heard that yet. The built up they wait, oh, you said the built up in anticipation for a physical release. I kind of wish that other show would have went on longer than it did. Her manager, oh, you said this manager is the same manager as Carly Rae Jepsen. I sent you the free version of that article. Guess I'm gonna have to like scroll a little higher up because the only one I saw was the link to um the one about the boyfriend or whatever the case is, like, that's the one I saw. I didn't see the Rolling Stone article that came out 2 days ago. The ghost emoji. This has been constant repeat outside Kesha's album. I've heard have and I've had gossip by Confidence Man. Oh, yeah, Confidence Man is another good, they release good music and stuff too. Besides the stuff that they did with Jade. Confidence Man is actually good, a good dance production to listen to. Because I've been listening to like the DJ mixes and stuff, so I think they're preparing Ava Max to be like a cult pop star, and I think that definitely works because here's the thing: there's nothing wrong with being a cult pop star, like somebody who doesn't necessarily always have to be. You don't have to do the whole big arena, be as big as Lady Gaga or Taylor Swift. Everybody don't need to be that. Like I can do I'll do the festival circuit. I get to travel the world and perform on whatever stage. I'm gonna still give you quality. Like even if it I'm gonna still give you expensive, like you paying for a Gaga show or a Taylor Swift show, but I'm gonna give it to you on a smaller scale where I got my dancers, I got my good music, I got my band, I got my costumes and stuff, and I'm gonna give you full drag queen experience on a budget. So you don't need to spend millions of dollars to put together a great show. So I like the fact that not everybody has to be that artist. Like if Ava does Radio City and those type of venues for the rest of her life, that's great. And you get to be someone who is I don't know why I think when you say moderately successful, that sounds like a negative, but it's not. If you have like a moderately successful career, so don't think I'm being shady when I say that. And I can actually do what I love and come home and still be anonymous to the point where like everybody don't know who I am, but just enough. And I get to live my life and not have to be under scrutiny. Like I couldn't imagine being Beyonce. Like when everybody talks about how oh Beyonce has this, I'm like, that's great, but I gotta sacrifice having a life and a career, and I can't go nowhere and all this other stuff. That's the one thing I love about Taylor Swift. Taylor don't give a good goddamn. She gonna go out to the club. She gonna go out to this restaurant. She gonna go to this place and that place. She gonna go to this sports event and don't care what people say. I'm gonna still live my life and be that regular girl. I'm not gonna sit up in here and be like, I can't go nowhere because people gonna be all up in my grill. Oh well, I'm gonna just put on my thickest of Ray-Bans, sit up in there like I'm the fierce bitch I am, and live my life. And if people gonna get mad about it, or people gonna be all up in my face trying to take pictures, click away, click, 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 click. So y'all could do that. Something else that Gaga also performs on the show. One of the songs that was not on the American release of Mayhem. I forget the name of the song, but I was sitting there. I'm like, what is this song? And why have I not ever heard it? Because I didn't hear like the other release of Mayhem. But yeah, she sings like a unreleased track off the. I'm like, girl, why'd you put this in here? But the hardcore fans, they love it. So they was up in there some of them was up in there singing. But then of course, there's those songs where it's like, oh, bathroom break, oh, refill on the liquor break. First night I ain't smell no weed. Second night I did though. It's like, oh, Conan Gray's Wishbone debuts at number 3, which is very good and impressive for not the one hit wonder child. And benefits of finally being an open homosexual. Mhm. And that's the one thing I like is the fact that look, if you're a one hit wonder and it's doing well enough, here's another one I could do small venues, Radio City, and some of the rest of his life. I don't know. I did not get to work the Conan Gray show when he was at Madison Square Garden, so I don't even know how well that sold. But I was like, sure, why you up in here? Oh yeah, it was Kill for Love. I don't know why I couldn't think about that. I remember that damn. Yeah, she performed that song the first 2 nights too. It's funny. I have the whole set list of songs that she sings. I could have went and looked to it, but I ain't feel like looking it up. That's why I got y'all. He said, not everyone, yeah, not everyone is meant to be an A-lister. YT homosexuals can keep you afloat. All right. Kill for, yep, it was that one. All right, y'all. So now let's get back into the show. Child, let me tell you, I am loving this new microphone. I can't wait to listen back and hear how good it sounds. Because I feel like it's picking up everything. All right, y'all. So let's get back into the show. Let's get into this Funky Dineva tea. So apparently Funky Dineva out here being messy and the people was dragging him. It's getting mixed reviews. Like there's some people that understand what he was doing and all this other stuff. And then there was some people that was trying to, read him for being what they felt was insensitive, especially the video that he put out on his show. You remember the story? Well, for those of you who are not familiar, I'll refresh your memory real quick. So Tamar went and posted something on social media that she had woken up in a pool of blood. She was missing 4 teeth. She had a broken nose. So Funky was like, oh, she hit him up and asked for Dr. Heavenly's number or whatever the case is, so that way she can get, I guess, new veneers or whatever the case in her mouth. And he was asking, like, what you need her number for? Like, what's going on with her? Like, you just woke up and had no teeth? Like, he didn't know what was going on. And so people was wondering, why is he jumping on the show and saying all the stuff that he's been saying about her? And he was basically saying, like, he was minding his business like he always does. And then all of a sudden he got dragged into some stuff that he said had nothing to do with me. I wasn't like, once we went out, it was, I guess, for his birthday or whatever the case is. He said they took an Uber back to her house. she went upstairs, I guess, with some people who was there with her, and then him and James Knox went and ended up going out somewhere. And so after that, he don't know what happened until the next morning. He woke up to some text messages where Tamar was talking about how, you know, this thing that she said, and then to the point where she posted something on social media. I think it was on her stories, and people started dragging him into it because they seen the videos of them two hanging out. So because Funky Dineva is a famous YouTuber, of course people are gonna go dragging him into the you know, the stuff. So with that being said, then why the fucking first thing I open is Little Nas X butt naked walking down the street? um that story we actually have coming up next. So I don't want to get caught up in that whole situation right now. But I was like, let me go find the Funky Dineva thing. Okay, I got it. So with all that being said, he went and posted this video, which I found on the Twitter. I want to go back on YouTube and try to find that episode again. But luckily enough, I ended up finding it over on the Twitter. So hold on as I pull that story up, because you know I'm a one-man band, and we'll come back and talk. Please hold.
Let me just go ahead and get this out the way, okay, before we even get at the top of the show. I don't know what happened to the lady. Okay, for those of y'all that don't know, I'm talking about Tamar Braxton. I don't know what happened to the lady.
We went out. What night that was? We went out. Saturday night.
Let's change the voice.
We went out Saturday night. We went to the Roof Chris. We ate. We had a good time. She was like, let's turn up for your birthday. We went down to the V12. Shouts out to Vinny and all the people at V12. That's the video y'all saw. Or whatever, with us walking in. They're making a whole lot of noise. We left there. We all got in the car together. The car dropped us off at Tamar house. I didn't go upstairs. I went to my car. I went and met James Knox at BJ Rooster, and I came home. The next day when I woke up, I had a text message from Tamar at 10 in the morning that said, can you give me Dr. Heavenly phone number? I didn't think anything of it because people ask me for Dr. Heavenly phone number all the time. And it's typically when people have an emergency veneer situation. I did not think anything of it. People ask me for her number all the time. And then the next thing I know, folks is sending me this thing on the internet where the lady said she almost died and she was laying in a pool of blood. I know some of y'all are going to be committed to thinking I'm lying, and y'all going to be committed to thinking I'm biased. And y'all are going to be committed to thinking I'm covering up something. And I promise you, I swear to God on my mother, I don't know what happened.
Okay, so that's basically it so far in regards of what he had to say about that whole situation. So now let's take a trip over to his Instagram where he posted this mess. I don't know if you can see it. Hold on, let me put it back on the old thing. Wait, how do I? Oh, I guess I'm just gonna have to leave it where it was. So yeah, he posted this little situation up there and posted the following. He said, wait, hold on, do I have it? He said, please be on the lookout. Suspect is considered armed and dangerous. Funky Dineva is wanted for possibly slipping something in Tamar's drink and giving her drugs, not being concerned about her well-being and calling her that lady, despite the fact that it's how he speaks in his Miami vernacular. Being a messy sissy, running to the internet to tell the goings on of the night, despite the fact that Tamar revealed that she was injured first. People saw the video of the two of them together the previous night and started accusing him of doing something nefarious. So he only said he didn't know what happened to that lady because he was being accused and everyone was asking, which is definitely what he did. So that was like a damn if you do and damn if you don't situation. I'm literally telling y'all I had nothing to do with what was going on with Tamar, and y'all was accusing me of stuff. So that's why I spoke out. So if I didn't say nothing, you still would have dragged him. But then I say something and you drag me. So like I said, you can't win at all with these people. Y'all will find a reason to just come down on somebody, and then you don't like the answer because you was out here spreading the lie, and then you get mad. So then they also went on to say clout chasing, trying to sacrifice Tamar to join the Illuminati. That's always a go-to with black folks. I'm about tired of y'all with that bullshit. Y'all always talk about the Illuminati and they're drinking the blood and big. I'm like, y'all ain't never been up in no entertainment celebrity situation. That's always the first thing y'all run to. Another person said, I mean, no, not another person. This is still funny, Dineva. Stealing Miss Evelyn, her mother's identity, and collecting her Social Security benefits. Now, that's a new one. I did not hear that tea, unless y'all was saying that up in the damn comments. Who said that? Tasha K? Who couldn't wait to get her bald-headed ass up on the internet and talk about this mess. I seen that video. Not, I didn't watch it, but when I was looking for a picture to create in regards to the heading with the Dineva situation, I ended up seeing that was in the thing. So then I realized I had a photo of him and Tamar that I created and I threw it in my trash, but I took it, luckily I didn't empty out the trash. So I took it out and then I'll probably pull it up after this. Okay, so then they say vandalizing Tamar vehicles, stealing Tamar laptop with unreleased music on his hard drive. Now that's a Beyonce shit. He is also wanted for whatever else y'all can connect between now and close of business Monday, August 25th, 2025. Funky Dineva was last spotted in Miami Beach doing some rich people's shit while simultaneously trying to evade the authorities. If you see him, you should call the blogs immediately. And funny enough, when he was saying all that, I ain't gonna hold you. I did cackle. But I totally understand. It's like, look, if I can't beat them, I'm gonna join in on the mess because regardless of what I say or regardless of what I do, y'all going to put me in it regardless. So I can sit up in here and tell y'all I had nothing to do with the situation, and you'll still put me in the drama. And I'm trying to avoid the drama, but you have to realize that unfortunately, this comes with the territory. When you are a YouTuber and you talk celebrity news and gossip, that if you hang out with certain celebrities, if you do something, even if you was just hanging out and being like, okay, I don't get caught up in that extra mess. I don't be up in here sharing and doing all kinds of crazy drugs with people. Like once, if we hanging out or whatever the case is, okay, my feet hurt, my back hurt, my knees hurt. Yeah, I'm getting at that age. I'm in my 40s. Everything be hurting now. So I'm at the point now. It's 11 o'clock. It's 12 o'clock. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go home. I don't want to be out here 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Those days is over. Unless if I was working in nightlife and I need to be out that late, then it's like, or if I'm hosting an event or something like that, then I could be like, okay, I'm out that late, and you paying good coins. But other than that, it's like, the only reason why you will see me out in these parts is for monetary reasons or whatever the case is. But then people jumped in the comments, and some people were mixed on what they said. So one person said, knowing Miss Funky Dineva probably wrote this while on that yacht sipping his birthday cocktail tickles me all the more. And he responded to it. But yeah, it was his birthday. I think he turned 42, if I'm not mistaken. Another person said this was a lose-lose situation. You spoke your piece on it and it was an issue. Had you not said anything, it still would have been he too quiet, so he must be hiding something. Protect your mental, Dineva. This fame-ish ain't for the weak. And to be accused of trying to off someone is top-tier bananas. Wishing you well. Another person said you didn't even want to go put out Wait, you didn't even want to go out after dinner. This is the funny thing about all this. You were perfectly fine going home, and now look, shenanigans. So, um, another person said they were glad he found humor in the whole situation. So the funny thing is, a lot of people seem to be team Dineva in his comments. One person said, "Child, how much he gonna take from our Kamala fund to get him out, y'all? We can't put the house up. Nah, we done worked too hard." Another person, I blame her for this mess. You're innocent. So, um, a lot of people tend to, do all that other mess, and so who knows how much we got left in the fume fund. So that's some inside jokes or whatever that they do with the show, because he always says how much we're going to dig into the fund to to help out with people fumes and all that other stuff. So it's like an ongoing joke or whatever that they do on the show. So for the most part, I'll say this. Um, I'm messy in that way too, where it's like, um, if you're gonna put me in some mess, I'm gonna just be just as messy in the whole situation, because I'm like, okay, you hoes ain't gonna believe me any damn way. So if I can't beat them, I'm gonna join them. And if y'all think it's me being petty, that's just some old Miami stuff. That's what they do down there. We can be just as messy in New York too. But shout out to Dineva. Tamar hasn't said anything about this. I think the only thing that will probably be even more crazier with this is like, he's having fun, and some people think that he's having fun at her expense. But for the most part, my thing would be like, how does she feel about this situation? Because you up in here dragging me in some mess, and I know some people be like, well, consider her feelings, whatever the case was, because I mean, she ain't drag him into the conversation. People just did a whole guilt by association based off a video they saw of them hanging out the night before all of this mess hit the fan. So, I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding Funky Dineva and Tamar Braxton, him having fun at her expense, I guess is what some people would say. So whatever your thoughts are on this matter, let me know what your thoughts are on this comment. Well, let me know what your thoughts are on this in the comments down below. I was like, damn, I forgot like how I always exit out of each topic. When did that happen? Wait a minute. I'm like, is this thing not muted? Yeah, it was playing the Lil Nas X video, which I'm gonna get to in a second. You said, yeah, I read that one already. Can we congratulate Kylie on doing good numbers? 85% of the tickets sold on her first arena tour, which basically means that she'll be doing tours in America until she doesn't want to do tours no more, because Kylie is that girl. She definitely has made her mark here finally. It took like 30 plus years for her to make it to this point. So I'm actually excited that people are finally getting to enjoy and acknowledge and see Kylie for the pop icon that she is. You always want to focus on the American artists, but it's like, no, there's some people outside of America that, those of us who really pay attention to a lot of the dance music, the pop music, all the stuff that really pays attention to all that. And they're like, yeah, come on in. And we live for it. And we always want those artists to come over here. I know Jennifer Lopez wished that she was hitting them numbers, but y'all don't care about her in the US. Hmm 99 drinks, 999 thumbnails. Okay. Come on with the emojis. Yes, Miss Kylie. Congratulations to her. Now I just feel like, girl, take a break. Because I'm thinking, like, right after this, she probably want to capitalize on all this success and probably wants to jump in and do another tour. Another tour, another album. Because I'm like, nah, take your time with the tour. You don't need to come out and do a crazy tour right away after you wrap this one up. Like, take some time for yourself, relax. But I know, like, when you out touring and stuff, as long as you have, but we were doing long tours, like, you don't know how to unwind. But hopefully she knows how to do that with all that adrenaline running. All right, y'all. So now let's move on. Speaking of tours and adrenaline and things, let's talk about the Backstreet Boys, because there was this story that came out. Shout out to the Daily Mail, where they started spinning a little tea in regards of, like, with the success of their residency at the Sphere, what we could expect from their upcoming situation. So, since the band, which consists of Nick Carter, who's 45, not y'all putting all they ages up in there. The oldest one in the band is Kevin Richardson. He's 53. Howie is 51. Brian Luttrell, he look older than 50, chair. The youngest one up in there, of course, is Nick Carter. He's 45. AJ is 47. I'm like, damn, I did not realize they was that old. No shade, I'm just saying. That's why y'all be, and then the people be up on the line making them negative ageist comments or whatever. So yeah, they kicked off their 21-day concert into the Millennium last month at the Sphere in Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, due to high demand, new dates have been added for December of this year, as well as January and February of 2026. Now, ticket sales have skyrocketed, with the lowest being listed for over $450 and the highest being, child, not $3,000. Y'all paying $3,000 to see the Backstreet Boys in Vegas? And they said, depending on the date and seat availability. Now, according to PR and branding expert who spoke with the Daily Mail, the Backstreet Boys are raking in a staggering amount of money, with each member making more than $1 million. See, now this is why I was saying about Beyonce. You need to get back together with Destiny's Child and do something at the Sphere, or whatever the case is. And y'all could be making a whole lot of money, but somebody said, and I kind of believe it, like, oh, she makes so much money on her own. Why would she want to jump in and help them other girls? So I'll pull a Justin Timberlake, and I'll trot him out every now and again when I want to dangle the carrot in front of y'all and make y'all think we're gonna do a reunion, but we never gonna get one. So they said a rough estimate is that they're making, as a band, 10 to 12 million gross from the current run, with each band earnings hinging on their contract terms. This is what David Johnson, CEO of Strategic Vision PR Group, claimed to the Daily Mail. So each band member could be making 2 to 3 million for the first set of dates. Johnson estimates that the new dates, which were not originally on the contract, could come with a paycheck for about 500 grand per band member, a number that derived from a combination of their paychecks for performing, ticket sales, and merchandise sales, which would be t-shirts, which cost $55, and jackets that cost $225. And yeah, when you look at some of the merch and stuff at a lot of these concerts, even the regular concerts, that's not even talking about like the residencies, they be charging like $50, $60 for like a 60 like for a hoodie, about 40 to 5 45 $55 for a t-shirt, and people pay for the merch. I mean, if it's good quality, then yeah, but sometimes I do be crazy with that. And I know like the artist gets a percentage of the merch, which is why I noticed when you look at K-pop, a lot of the K-pop people, the fans will buy, they don't really they don't really be eating or drinking any of the other stuff. They spend more time trying to get the merch than anything. That's where all their money goes. So they said their previous shows were sold out and there's a high demand. The venue of the Sphere, the Backstreet Boys, everyone wants to hit it while it's hot. The Atlanta-based expert said. Now said a lot of people are now remembering them, and you're seeing this great surge of nostalgia. People are craving nostalgia. Which how many times have I said that on this show? I'm like, we are in a nostalgia era, and so a lot of the fans who are in your like, if you're a late millennial or elder millennial as they call it, if you're like in your from 35 and up, you are in this mind space of like, I'm feeling nostalgic. I wanna, because with all the stresses and stuff going on in the world, I remember this time when I would listen to certain artists or whatever the case is, be it Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys, whatever the case is. And it's like it took you to a time when you felt like carefree and the world was innocent and you didn't have to deal with a lot of the craziness and the stressfulness of the world. So that's what made me wanna go and see these people. And it was like when I was a kid, I never had the opportunity to see them because tickets was expensive. People couldn't well, I guess maybe compared to today, tickets weren't that bad in regards to that. But it's like now that you're older, you can go and experience a lot of stuff and all of that. So I can see why people are in this whole nostalgia era. It also said it's also fans' interest in what do these band members look like now? What do they sound like? People are curious and saying they're still around. I've got to see this. Well, yeah, when you've been making music for like over 3 decades and you still sound just as good as you did, except Brian Luttrell, you gonna get up in there and give the people what they want. And it's like, okay, I remember when I was a little kid listening to them, and yeah, they sounded so great when they was younger, but they still up there giving choreography and all this other mess. And they're like, oh, they don't be dancing as hard as they used to. Yeah, they're also not 22. So, um, what you thought that what I was giving you in my 20s, I'm gonna give it to you in your 50s? I mean, the only one that was a unicorn that was doing that craziness, out dancing their dances, was Madonna. But if you look at Madonna now, she's all beat up because she was in this whole mental capacity of trying to keep up with a lot of the younger dancers and all the other stuff, and having to have a certain amount of drive and energy and all that other stuff when you're doing a lot of these tours. And she paid for it. She had issues with her knees. She had the hip issue. She had a lot of wear and tear on the body, and that does that. I was even thinking, you know what, Gaga need to be careful too, because I was watching on this Mayhem ball, especially during oh my god, what's the name of that song? Garden of Eden. When she performs that song during the breakdown part, and then she does like the little spin, and they all drop to the floor on their knees. I'm like, damn, you doing that every night? You gonna do something? I hope you got knee pads up under there, because when you hit that hard ass stage floor, you don't want to be. I'm sitting there holding my knees as I'm thinking. And the funny thing was, last night she held the pose for like a good 2 minutes before she got into the whole "My name is Mayhem." That whole thing, and started screaming, and everybody gets up, and and then Mayhem comes out and they go into their whole little thing, and then it goes into poker face. So yeah, when it was like that part, I was like, girl, you better watch it with them knees. I know you 38, but still be on the lookout. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention during the Mayhem situation, somebody, one of the guys that was in my section was asking me, he was like, that was working with me. He was like, is he thought Gaga was like at least in her 40s, but I said, no, she ain't even 40 yet. She like 38. I gagged. I'm like, damn, you trying to say she old? I mean, I know white folks do age a little harder than most of us with the melanin, but still. Um, But to get back to the Backstreet Boys, it says social media isn't something they had 25 years ago. So that, of course, makes them popular. And their team is smart as far as how they're marketing social media. Everybody lives on social media these days, especially a lot of millennials. And then they went on to say the Backstreet Boys, they've been making music since 1993. So they've been around for over 30 years. And they became big over here in America in like 96. So they had like Get Down on the I'll Never Break Your Heart, We've Got It Going On. But I believe it's the Millennium album that is what they're heavily focused on, because Millennium, during that era when that album came out, that was more like when they went more futuristic with their looks and the type of music they would do, even though they was working with Max Martin and all of them over there. This was like when they were really their music was more futuristic in that way. And Max Martin, nobody can deny that man was creating bop after bop after bop after bop with a lot of the kids, and I know a lot of people was hating on that whole teen um what is it, boy band, teen pop since phenomenon. But that was my generation. Like, that's what we was listening to, and I made no qualms about it. Yes, I was also listening to rock music. I was listening to Korn. I was listening to Stain. I was listening to POD. I was listening to Limp Bizkit. Limp Bizkit was a mess, but I still listened to, Nookie and all them other songs, and Chocolate Starfish and the Hot Dog Flavored Water. Yeah, that was the name of their album. So I was listening to a lot of that, and Hole and Nine Inch Nails. I was listening to all that music, but I was getting my pop on too. And so, during them days, I'm glad I grew up in the time that I grew up in, because I was like, I feel like the 90s and that was like a perfect time to grow up, even though it was like crazy and messy and so many things was going on. It was like a great time to be alive. It was a great time to be feeling all up in your innocent bag and not have to worry about all the stresses of the world. And then when you become an adult in the 2000s and the 2010s, I was like, child, can I go back to being a little kid again? So I don't have to deal with all this stuff. And I'm glad I also grew up in a time pre-internet, which is what a lot of the millennials, um, I don't know why I want to say millennium. I think I know why. I want to say millennium because Millennium is the name of the Backstreet Boys album, but I'm talking about millennials, where it was like we grew up pre-internet. So the internet was around, but it wasn't what it is today. So I think also people are seeing clips online, and I've seen some of the people on the internet throwing shade, talking about, oh, they old, and making a little body shame or age shaming. Oh, why they pants so big? And I'm like, if you're not there, if you're not seeing the show, if you don't understand what all is going on, like, I need some of y'all to just go outside and touch some grass. Everything don't need to be a stupid comment on social media where you want to critique people's outfits, but the outfits and everything is a play on what you've seen from the millennium era. So that's why they're doing all that. So they say any act that is going to perform at the Sphere is going to draw large crowds. It's just going to get bigger and better. And plus, from some of the visuals and things that I've seen, people are saying like it's a really good show, and the fact that they're using like this big LED screen behind them, and they're just doing and then they're doing the choreography and singing all the hits and the all the crazy special effects. I mean, that definitely helps the show. But Lance Bass went to their show because I've seen him in the audience. He was in one of the suites, and I was gonna say, who's the most polarizing out of couples, Ashton Kutcher or Mila Kunis, or Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively? We need to do a poll on that. Which couple's most polarizing? But I think Ryan and Blake would take the cake. But Ashy Coochie, as I used to call him, and Mila Kunis, not the Jovovich, were there at one of their shows. And then they said on August 16th, Max Martin. It's funny they said the mastermind behind their music and Taylor Swift's new album was in the audience and received a special shout out from Howie, who told the audience to give him a standing ovation. That was like yesterday. Speaking of which, now I'm starting to remember more stuff. Gaga's piano teacher and vocal teacher from like when she was little was in the audience, and she went and thanked them for helping take care of her voice and all the other stuff. And so yeah, they seem grateful. They seem to be enjoying everything that's going on. Tickets, I know that's crazy. They said the highest is $3,000 and the lowest is about $450 and up. So they said it, look, and I'm sure that if there is continued demand for the Backstreet Boys, meaning that's those 7 dates, however those tickets do, and I don't know how well the tickets are doing right now. All I know is they added 7 additional dates. But if they continue to be successful in that way, then I feel like what's going to happen is they'll probably add more dates down the road. I mean, probably in late 2026. So whenever there's an opening for them to be able to be there and perform. So I'll say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Have you seen the Backstreet Boys at the Sphere? Are you looking forward to seeing the Backstreet Boys at the Sphere? Or are you surprised even that this type of tea is coming out regarding, the amount of money that they're about to rake in? I'm like, look, if the demand is there and people are living for the nostalgia acts, and this is the greatest time to come out if you were an iconic legacy act, because quiet as it's kept, a lot of this new generation, a lot of these artists that's out now have the worst stage presence. They don't know how to put on a show. These are people who were like, especially when you talk about the Backstreet Boys and so many others, they were trained to perform the way that they perform. Like they will tell you the stories of how Lou Pearlman had them in some abandoned, what do they call it, like an aircraft situation where he had like what he used to make airplanes before he got into music and music production and artist development and that all that stuff. How they would perform for hours in this hot ass, you know, what do you call it? Like the one of those spaces where you hoard the airplanes and stuff. And they were in there for hours doing that. There was a lot of artists that grew up that way where they were trained to perform and stuff. A lot of the K-pop girlies and boy groups, they do that now over in South Korea. So it makes sense that they would be performing the way they perform. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. Let me know what your thoughts are on this story in the comments down below. A Netflix special. Wait, who needs one? Kylie Minogue? Who look like Chris Rock in New Jack City? He said, "What I miss? A lot. You miss me talking about the Mayhem ball. You miss me talking about Ava Max's new album and all that good stuff. Nostalgia is in the effing air and has been since 2020. Okay, because to be honest, um, I've heard some people say when you look back on it, when you talk about nostalgia and has been since 2020, I think I saw it. Not I think, I believe I saw an article where they said that this may be the first decade where we don't have like a defining moment. Like, when you look at like the 70s, it had like disco and sort of like that, oh my God, what do you call that type of rock music that David Bowie was doing? Like Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, like the glam rock. There was like the glam rock, and they also had that Woodstockish type rock too, because it spilled over from the late '60s into the '70s. So, and then the '80s, you had like synth pop, you had all those type of things like what Devo and all of them was doing, and then you had Madonna and that whole sound. Then the '90s, you had boy band music, you had New Jack Swing, you had the birth, and also electronic music started to blow up. And then in the 2000s, you had EDM and that sort of thing. Now you look at the 2010s and the 2020s, there's really no defining, well, the 2020s, I'll say, we don't really have a defining genre moment that stands out. It's just everything is derivative of what already existed. So we might be in, somebody need to come up with something. Because it seems like everybody's recycling stuff. Lady Gaga recycling old '80s goth. Then you got Doja Cat trying to do shoulder pads and big hair and bring back that whole '80s vibe. Hence why I'm not really feeling her new single. I get what the references and where she's going. It just I'm not entirely 110% sold on it. We're gonna get a versus battle with. Can you imagine? You said yes. Are they collecting Social Security in another day? Not Social Security. But anyway, let's move on, y'all. And let's talk about Dexter. So we got some good news and we got some bad news. So do you like your dessert first, or you want me to just give y'all the appetizer? So the good news is we have Dexter Resurrection has gotten a season 2. They already developed a writer's room for that. Now, a Dexter Original Sin is the bad news. Apparently, they decided to cancel it, even though they've already had in place that we were going to get a second season, which is a bummer because I actually liked Original Sin. I'm gonna be honest, I have not gotten around to watching the other one. I didn't watch Resurrection yet. I've been meaning to get around to it, but because there's so many things that's popping up on my radar in regards to programs and things I'm supposed to be watching, I have not been able to get to watching that. So one of these days I'm gonna get around to it. Maybe tonight I'll try to squeeze it in. I doubt it because like all next week I'm literally working 7 days straight. So between that and trying to squeeze in when I'm gonna be able to do a show in between all of the busyness is going to be the challenge. But nevertheless, that's the latest news. So let's get into it. Shout out to Deadline for this. And they're just saying, like, yeah, Dexter fans are pissed because they said left furious, but no, they pissed because they canceled the spinoff months after they announced that they were going to get a second season. So Showtime's new leadership has made their first major programming decision, and it involves the network's flagship Dexter franchise. The Paramount TV Studios team, led by Matt Thunell, which took oversight of Showtime following Skydance's acquisition of Paramount Global, had signaled its commitment to the Mothership series starring Michael C. Hall, whose current incarnation, Dexter Resurrection, is airing its first season, while prequel series Dexter Original Sin will not be moving forward. The new executive team had commissioned a season 2 writer's room for Dexter Resurrection ahead of its season 1 finale, with the intention of greenlighting the new season subject to budget approvals. With the help of the Hall-led mothership considered key to the longevity of the franchise, Showtime will not be proceeding with Dexter Original Sin amid confusion over its status. The previous Showtime regime announced in early April that season 2 had been greenlit with a writer's room to open soon and production dates to be set. So sometimes according, this happens where, you have people who will, the old regard or old guard will come and say, we're giving the show another season. We're going to be moving forward with certain things. And then a new regime comes in and it's like, okay, we got to make cuts. We got to do things. It's similar to what happened with the DCEU. And then when James Gunn and Peter Safran took over, they've done the DCU. Like it is like, even if you saw Peacemaker, remember, well, I don't know if you've probably seen the premiere episode yet, but in the opening, they made a change. I'm like, wait a minute, that wasn't the thing that was there before. So of course they made a whole story about it. But when I watched the episode the day it came out, they changed up. Like, remember in the end when they had like in the shadow, they had the Justice League and all the other stuff. Now they got like, what is it, the Justice Gang? So you saw like Hawk Girl and Guy Gardner, and then you saw Superman and Supergirl and all other stuff. You didn't see Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, and all other stuff like we saw in the shadows of the last one. So he made changes and stuff with that. So it was like, yeah, when new people come in, they make changes, and what we wanted to see, we're not gonna see. But I actually liked Original Sin. I mean, yeah, Original Sin. I'm wondering if the reason why they're not going forward with a second season is because it's set in the past. I think when it comes down to wardrobe and car designs and the overall look of how you want to make things look very 80s, it could be like with the props and everything, it's probably costly. So when you're doing a show like Dexter, and then you have someone like Michael C. Hall, where yes, he's done other programs like 6 Feet Under and things of that nature. Um, it's easier to produce a Michael C. Hall led series rather than having to sit and put money into a franchise where you have to put a lot more money into old school wardrobe and things of that nature. Because I was like, I thoroughly liked the first season. There, I'm like, damn, now Christina Milian out of a job again because she is in the show. She plays the Huerta, and even the guy that played oh my god, what's his name, Ortiz. The young version of him, he looks just like the original, like the actor, what's his name? David Zayas, I believe is his name. He looked just like him, even down to the diction and everything. So I was just like, the acting and everything was great in it. Sarah Michelle Gellar, she ain't got to worry. She got a job over there at Buffy the Vampire Slayer whenever they decide to officially greenlight that show, which we already know they're going to greenlight that. I don't know when they're going to, if, they're done with the pilot or whatever the case is. I've been hearing so many little stories coming out regarding casting and things of that nature. But for the most part, Sarah Michelle Gellar is the only one that I guess don't have to worry. Patrick Dempsey, they killed his character off in the first season, so he wasn't coming back. Christian Slater, I definitely liked him playing Dexter's father, a younger version of him. So I liked the show. I liked where they was going with it. I liked it was a well put together story, and a lot of us liked it, but unfortunately, Showtime decided not to move forward, which is weird because quiet as it's kept, outside of Dexter and Yellow Jackets, y'all really don't have anything on y'all network worth tuning in for. But because I have Paramount Plus, I have Showtime, so I'll watch whatever interesting movie I haven't seen that's on there. But for the most part, Showtime ain't really got a lot of shows. So yeah. Oh, and also they said writer's room did not open and production dates were never set. So they said the reasons may have been logistical, with Dexter franchise showrunner Clyde Phillips moving writers to Resurrection after season 1 of Original Sin was done, as the former a continuation of limited series Dexter New Blood, with Hall back as a titular character. So I said they just want to write off the success because Michael C. Hall is a bigger name. But yeah, I like the show. The show came out December 13th last year, and it had 2.1 million global viewers across Paramount Plus and Showtime in the first 3 days. The finale grew 27%. But they said the audience grew 27% over the December premiere, with a tally of 2.68 million global viewers. So by the time it got to the finale, they had damn near 2.7 million people were tuning into the show. So the show was doing really well. I just guess because it might be too expensive, they decided not to move forward, which is unfortunate. And sometimes a lot of great shows end up getting canceled. And this is why I think a lot of people lose faith in a lot of these streaming services and things of that nature, because y'all be having these good shows, y'all take forever to release a new season, and then y'all be so quick to cancel stuff. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story? You one of the many like me, excuse me, who's upset, good and upset, that they done canceled Dexter. Only one of them. At least we get the one with Michael C. Hall back. I need to see this new show to even know for sure if it is just as good, if not better. Because let me be honest, I was disappointed with the other show that they had prior to Resurrection. I forget, what was it called? Was it called Original Sin? I don't know. No, it wasn't called Original Sin. I forget the name of that other show. The one where Harrison was older and all other. So he was trying to teach him how to do the Dark Passengers thing, and then Harrison allegedly was supposed to have killed his own father. I didn't like that season. I just felt like there were moments of the show that really got me going, and then I was just relatively disappointed with that full season. So that's kind of another reason why I've been hesitant on wanting to get back into this new version of Dexter Resurrection. That's kind of why I've been a little hesitant. But I'm gonna get into it because they said the finale is about to come up. So I guess this is the best time to get into it before the whole show is done. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. You said I'm getting tickets to see Garbage. Now that shirt. Oh, you said Shirley announced it as their final tour. Yeah, she's probably like, I'm tired. Congrats to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, made $5 million and second week in the top 10. Go see it. Part 2 is in theaters in March. Hopefully, I'll be able to get to movies and see it this week with the Fathom events. I got to look at the show times and stuff when I go on my what do you call it? If there's a show that I could see where I can go early in the day and go check it out, then I'll definitely go and see it in theaters before they take it out, because I know, like, when's the last day? The 28th. We're already and today's the 24th, so it's like up to Thursday. So I got to check to see where they're showing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and get a ticket. All right. Okay, y'all, let's get back into the show. Let's talk about Lil Nas X, who's going through it right now. They say the man's still in jail. So Lil Nas X is apparently still in prison. I was like, that's the worst. When you spend like a weekend in prison, or not even prison, when you spend a weekend in jail, and that's the worst time. Don't ever get locked up on a Friday or a Saturday, because you're not seeing the judge until midnight Monday morning. So Lil Nas X, you already seen or know the situation regarding him, that he was spotted walking down the street in his tidy whities. There was a lot of people out here that thought that he was putting on a show, that it was a stunt. And it's like, if you're not aware if somebody's pulling a stunt, then don't be so quick to jump on that and say that somebody's putting on a stunt when you don't know. Because if it is a stunt to the point where you smacking police officers and things of that nature when they're trying to grab you up or whatever because you being a nuisance, and the nuisance part came in, what we didn't know was that he went from the tidy whities being butt ass naked. So yeah, they said earlier he was fully clothed. We saw the pictures of him in the last video that I did. where he was like in a what was it, shirt pants. He had on a cowboy. I think he had a cowboy hat, whatever the case was. He stopped in this building, sat on the bench, he got himself a drink of water, sat on the bench, and was like fanning himself. So he was hot. So who knows if like he was overheated or he had done some drugs, and it was just like he was on an all-day binge or whatever the case was. So then it was 4 a.m. He was walking down the street. Somebody in the comments, I saw somebody post something on Twitter, the video that I wound up finding, I'm gonna show y'all. But the person said, "Oh, the streets is clear. This is a stunt." I'm like, first of all, it's 4 a.m. You don't know LA because I'm sure you probably don't live out there, but clubs and everything close at 2. Like, this is not New York. New York, we stay open till 4 a.m. If you're in LA, yes, they have after parties and things of that nature, but for the most part, everything shuts down by 2. And when I was in LA, I was like, before I moved there, I was like, I don't know if this is a good idea that they have things closing at 2 in the morning. I'm like, that feels kind of early. But by the time it hits 2 o'clock over there, you feel like the day has been so long. You be glad that it's kind of like, okay, 2 o'clock is the closing time. I'm like, okay, I got my life, I'm ready to go. Like, it feels early enough, but late enough where it's like you don't want to be in the club that late. Kind of like if you was a New York person or whatever the case is, because you definitely, if you're having too much fun in New York, and you don't want the night to end, then it's like, okay. So yeah, I do have that video in case y'all need a refresher. Excuse me. And so hold on a second. Let me pull that up. And then we will come back and talk. Please hold.
Hey,
What
don't
up?
be late to the party tonight.
Where at?
You know where it's at. No, go ahead, babe. No. Go ahead, babe. No. Didn't I tell you to put the phone down? Uh-oh, somebody's gonna have to pay for that. Da.
That boy's a mess,
Boy,
Chad.
like, come to the party.
Yes, honey. You better come to that party.
Yes, I am serving you. I am serving you. And you better be at that party tonight. Oh, yes. Yes. Yes, get my good side. Every side. Yes.
Feeling like pussy, feeling like cunt, feeling like pussy, feeling like cunt. Pussy.
Sean Bankman taught me that one. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Woo. Yeah. Backstreet boy, want you to give it to me, baby? Backstreet boy, want you to give it to me, baby? It's gonna be a beautiful sunrise. Give me that phone so I can throw it. I want to throw it far away so you never see it again. I don't like phones. Don't miss the party tonight. Why are you still here? You need to be telling everybody about the party, girl. What's your problem? Break it down, break it down, break it down.
All right, so that's basically the whole video and everything that y'all see there. Now, it gets a little bit crazier because apparently I came across this other video courtesy of the Neighborhood Talk, where they showed him that he was butt naked doing lyrics from Nicki Minaj's Monster. And this is where the whole arrest situation came down. So when people thinking like it's fake or whatever, no, this was like stuff that escalated to the point. So that's why I say that people need to wait until the videos and everything, because I know a lot of the pundits and things on here, or people just be on social media with no show. They always want to be quick to be the first to put tea out there instead of doing all the homework and having all their I's dotted and all their T's crossed. So yeah, there was more that came out. Shout out to the Neighborhood Talk. Also TMZ have the video, but this was like the quickest one I could get. And so we're going to see this clip and then we'll come back and talk. Please hold.
Cause my money ain't. Let me get this straight. Wait, I'm the rookie? But my features and my shows 10 times to pay. 50K for a verse, no album out.
Why my parents has shaped my character.
Cause my money ain't. Let me get this straight. Wait, I'm the rookie? But my features and my shows 10 times.
Yeah, so basically there was that. And then there was some people in the comments that said the following. They said, WTF do Hollywood be doing to our people? I don't think it's necessarily Hollywood. It's a mixture. Like, I think for the most part, it has a lot to do with the drama of the pressures of being an artist, him being openly gay, and the fact of the matter that the hip hop community don't necessarily feel him because they don't want to deal with openly gay artists and thinking that they can't rap, when I know a lot of queer artists who can rap. But the fact of the matter is there's a lot of closet cases or insecure men that run around thinking that, oh, if you work with a gay artist, whatever, then people are going to be, oh, you ain't trying to sleep with me and this, that, and the other. And it's like, sir, you're not even that cute to be even thinking that, oh, just because you're in a room with a gay man, that gay man automatically want to hunt you. It's not always about that. It's also that if I have the lyrical cadence and all other stuff to go toe to toe with these other artists, I should be able to do that. But a lot of times there's a lot of that. Plus, with all the J. Christ stuff and this, that, and the other, because some people, that's been hard on him as well. And so those were a lot of the things that he's been going on as well. Like that backfired because a lot of the religious imagery and things that he was putting in the music video when he was trying to come up with his new era, it wasn't working out. So he kind of just fell off a little bit. And I think like the uber religious people wasn't really feeling what he was doing. So with all that being said, he had to go back to the drawing board. He got rid of his old team. He was up in here trying to come out with new music and things of that nature. And y'all wasn't feeling it. So Nas apparently is going through it right now. And um it's sad to see this crash out happen in real time regarding all this. And then but somebody went and said, that's exactly how I rap and verse in the shower, no shade. Another person said, the one thing about Nicki lyric, you will remember it no matter what. Now y'all making jokes. 50K for a verse, no album out. Then Monique Slaughter, remember her from Love and Hip Hop? She said, my brother did this, walked into the mall completely nude, backpack and hat on. We found out on Twitter, SMH, some kids he knew from school filmed and posted it. Schizophrenia in black males will present itself between the ages of 18 to 30 years old. They will sometimes experience a fractured relationship, work-related, or financial stressors are said to be the more common fractures. An individual who was genetically predisposed to this mental illness can also experience onset or even a delayed drug-induced psychosis. If he overdosed, if he overdosed, he'd have been unconscious or unable to function at that level. This is psychosis or mania. He's fractured, praying he receives proper treatment. So I could definitely believe, like, even if it's not drug induced, that I could definitely believe that it probably is a situation where it could be a mental breakdown. We've seen people who've been overworked and things of that nature, and there's a lot going on where they'll have a mental breakdown. Hello, we brought it up on the show before. Mariah Carey during her TRL appearance, when she came in them gold booty shorts and then took her the shirt off and the ice cream truck and all that other stuff. So she's been dealing, when she was dealing with that, and then eventually ended up getting the help that she needed. Britney Spears going through all the things that she was going through. So there's a lot going on in regards to that. Oh, so there was just a lot. There's a lot of factors that goes into that, and then so hopefully he gets the help that he needs, and he'll be able to come out of this. I don't think jail is a place for him to get where the help that he needs, whatever. Hopefully he is, there is like a mental evaluation that he's undergoing. But with all of that being said, because that was the setup, I didn't even get to the full story yet. But it was like, yeah, with all the other stuff going on, I wanted to give y'all a lot of the nuances and a lot of the details before we get to the other tea. So the Blast came out with this story. So they want, I'm saying, the Old Town Road rapper has been wandering Ventura Boulevard nearly nude. You already know all of that. But now they're saying that his family and friends, those who genuinely care about him, because I feel like there were people out there that genuinely care about him and were trying to come to his aid. But I think Lil Nas, according to people, was saying like he didn't want to hear it. He was out here doing whatever the hell he wanted to do, or maybe he's surrounding himself with a lot of enablers. So yeah, they said his family is terrified that what could happen to him if he doesn't turn his life around. And I believe he's like what, 26, 27. So I'm glad they found this out early and he didn't end up in his 30s being this mess because he comes from a family of addiction. His mother is a drug addict and people dragged him because, well, why don't you help your mother get off the street and da 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 da. And it's like, I can get her into rehab. I could do all the things. And what makes you think I wasn't doing all that pre me becoming famous? And we've been here where it's like, I've done all I need to do for her, but she didn't want to take the proper steps to go do what needs to be done. I'm not just going to give her money because I know what she's going to do with that. She's going to squander it on drugs. And I'm not going to be the one who's going to sit around with that guilt of enabling my mother and her drug habit, because what if I gave her that money and she OD'd and then I heard that she died? Then I have to live with that guilt. But a lot of y'all don't think about that because that's not your mother. So when people go around trying to say stuff, that's what they jump on. But it's like, now, would you do the same thing if that was your mother? Put yourself in these people's shoes in their situation. Now, and it's sad because, like I was saying, with Lil Nas X, he's been so used to being accused of pulling stunts in shows, then when something actually happens for real, then he ends up, there ends up being a situation where he winds up in a situation that's dangerous or life threatening or whatever the case is. It's kind of like whenever you watch a Friday the 13th movie and you have like the big prankster, the one always pulls a little joke, and it's like, you don't take him serious, like the kid that was in part 3 where Jason got his mask. Then he finally ends up dead. And people think he was pulling a prank, and he wasn't. Jason killed him, cut his throat. So yeah, they're saying that they don't want him to end up like Matthew Perry. So speaking to the Daily Mail, one insider revealed, they said some of them are worried he'd be exploited by Matthew Perry if he doesn't receive help. The comparison is a sobering one. Perry, who became a household name as Chandler Bing on Friends, died in October of 2023. Damn, it's been almost 2 years? Damn, time flies. Died in October 2023 at age 54. He was found unresponsive in the jacuzzi at his LA home. I sworn he passed away like earlier this year or last year. I did not know it was 2023. I think it might be a mistake. It had to be 2024 or something. An autopsy determined Perry's death was caused by the acute effects of ketamine, with drowning, coronary artery disease, and buprenorphine. Buprenorphine. Jesus, say that 10 times fast. I ain't never seen that word before. I think it's pronounced buprenorphine. Say that. You would literally get tongue-tied. Also listed as contributing factors. The investigators later found that multiple doctors had supplied Perry with dangerous high amounts of ketamine, raising concerns about medical exploitation. Yeah, especially when it comes to celebrities, because they know they got the money. And it's like, I guess they medical job, they jobs and everything that they got as doctors, you would think that pays good money. But I guess when you 60 years old and still paying off your damn student loans, they be taking, money off the top and highlighting, and night lighting or moonlighting is the word I was looking for. Moonlighting as freaking drug dealers with a medical degree. So those close to Lil Nas X worry he could be at similar risk if he doesn't receive proper treatment. Now, after years in the spotlight, family members fear opportunists would take advantage of his vulnerability, which some people was feeling like that's already what's happening. Because I've seen videos of him online where I think he was butt naked and he took a photo with oh no, he wasn't naked. He had the white briefs on. Took a picture with this boy, and they were telling him about coming to the party. He was like, "Where the party at?" or whatever. And they started taking photos and stuff. So there are people out here that they see Lil Nas X and they exploit him, or it's the friends that he's hanging out with. So who knows? Because we don't have the full story. We're just going based off of footage that we've gotten that was sold apparently or given to TM. Well, I'm sure somebody paid for it or TMZ paid for it. They're going based off of that type of stuff. So when you have those type of people, it's like, okay, now they're trying to get paid off this boy's pain. It's kind of sad. So they said beyond worries about his health, those close to Lil Nas X are also sounding the alarm about the people surrounding him. The same insider who spoke to the Daily Mail claimed the rapper has struggled with trust for years and now may be leaning on the wrong crowd, saying, quote, Nas doesn't feel that he can trust many people from his past because they try to exploit him financially. But some of those people suspect his new friends can't be trusted either. Now, according to the insider, okay, he's 26. They said the 26-year-old has been spending time with seedy characters in LA, some of whom are allegedly living in his home and leeching off him. Oh, I know exactly those types. That's why I was like, I need to leave LA. That place is a damn succubus. Like, it's literally the city of lost angels. because it feels like a bunch of lost damn souls out there who will sell their souls just for a little piece of that fame. For now, Lil Nas X's fate rests in the hands of the courts. Now, following his chaotic arrest on Ventura Boulevard, officials claim the rapper will remain in custody until at least Monday. Didn't I tell you that it's like you in jail for the weekend, you're not getting out the midnight Monday. And they said when a judge is set to review his case, until then he has no option to post bail. Unlike minor offenses that often result in a citation and release, his charged suspicion of battery on a police officer requires a mandatory court appearance. The decision leaves the 26-year-old tart topper behind bars as family, friends, and fans anxiously wait to see how this case unfolds. Now, back in 2020, he did speak candidly to Variety about the toll fame and loss had taken on him during his meteoric rise, saying, "So much happened during my rise, drugs and murders." He recalled pointing to the tragic death of Nipsey Hussle, Triple X Tentacion, and Juice World as pivotal moments that weighed heavily on him. The passing of his grandmother in 2018 hit even harder. She was the first person close to me who died. It was devastating and it made me a hypochondriac. I'd wake up, heart racing. It was scary. At the time, the rapper admitted to self-medicating with heavy marijuana as a way to cope, though he later said the practice helped him feel more connected to the universe and gave him a different perspective of life. Then also like he was doing shrooms and things too. So they say as the headlines surrounding Nas X's arrest and alleged overdose continue to swirl, fans have taken to social media to voice their concern and the hope that the star finds the help he needs. So one person says sending prayers up for and that would be Montero, and his family. One supporter wrote on X using the rapper's birth name. Another fan added, "I'm heartbroken with the latest news about Lil Nas X. We should just respect and wish him well." And then others focus on the positive impact he's already had in the world. Said, "I really hope Lil Nas X is okay and getting the care he needs. Everyone has tough nights, but I believe in his purpose. His music and his message have inspired so many of us, and I know he still has so much more to give, lifting him up in prayer and sending nothing but love his way." So there's a lot of people definitely out here rooting for you. We were rooting for you. We're all rooting for you. But last but certainly, and I'm also rooting for him because I like Lil Nas X, despite all the drama, conflama, and stuff that he was going through. I definitely think the boy is talented. He's had a couple of great bops or whatever, but kind of like what I was saying before about like other artists like a Carly Rae Jepsen or Ava Max. You could be like that moderately famous pop act. I think he needs to leave the hip hop alone. You can still rap and stuff, but just go more towards the hipster crowd and a lot of the queer kids and all this stuff. The queer kids and the girls, they're going to support you, and that'll be a loyal fan base. If don't worry about these hardcore rap fans, which why does Kevin majority of them is white boys anyway. So do what you do, figure out who you are as an artist. But as I close this out, there was one more thing that I came across. I wish I remembered who actually posted this, but um wait, I think it's Leo Herrera posted this on Instagram. So I wanted to read y'all this and I was like, you want to know something? You didn't say nothing but a word. So he wrote this. He said, "What's 26-year-old gay hasn't strutted home in they undies at 4 a.m. after, not you out here spilling, because quiet as is kept. There's been things I've done at 4 a.m. And one of them has been strutting down the street while under the influence. So not you trying to ring all our bells and put our tea out here. But anyway, so he said, what 26-year-old gay hasn't strutted home in their undies at 4 a.m. after a wild night out? I sure did, but had I been this famous, friends would have made sure I wasn't alone or filmed by an asshole to sell to TMZ. Famous, isolating, and corrosive. He was hospitalized for an OD, likely time-delayed drugs like KG or Tina that still have the gays in a silent chokehold. And of course, race. Had this been Troye Sivan, police and media treatment would be very different. Within a week, Troy could capitalize on this with a cute apology and underwear merch. Will Little Nas be given the same grace? And now that bigots are saying this is what he gets for mocking Jesus, who in the gay community will rally for him like when he was trolling our religious enemies, and who will abandon him as just a black gay boy who did too much? which is what a lot of people were saying on social media. And then said, and concluded by saying, Black and brown gay boys who operate in predominantly white spaces often turn to drugs and alcohol as a way to take up space and calm the anxiety of feeling invisible. I wish I had recognized this trigger earlier. And I feel like, yeah, that's definitely something that it was like me growing up. I'm look, quiet as it's kept. I'm glad that I didn't have social media when I was Lil Nas X age, that it wasn't as big as it is now. So when I was in my 20s, I was like out here being messy and doing all kinds of crazy stuff and experimenting and trying to find myself. But can you imagine doing that when you're a celebrity and when you're famous? So I could totally understand where he's coming from. I definitely get, what he's dealing with. And I feel like we need to owe people some grace. Even if this is a stunt, the way that I'm breaking all this down, and people, I just feel like people should look at it from that angle and realize that, yeah, this is a wake up call, not only for him, but if you are someone who's witnessed this and seen something like this, and this is you, hopefully this will be a wake up call for you as well, and be like, you know what? I did not realize I was being this messy. Me seeing what Lil Nas X is going through helped me get my act together and help me get off them drugs. Because yes, K, as in ketamine, because ketamine is a silent epidemic in the gay community. We've been losing a lot of people. I'm not saying that Matthew Perry was a homosexual. I mean, I don't know. I ain't sleep with him. So he was on K. Then we had the Vivian from Drag Race, who was a K user and died from complications of using it, a KOD. And then it's like, yeah, if you're in the gay community, it's either y'all doing K. And I remember K was a thing when I was in the clubs. And this was like, me growing up in New York City in the club scene in the late 90s going into the 2000s. So K was big then. And also Tina is like crystal meth. That's why I call people method. When I say Methodist, I'm not talking about the religion. I'm talking about the drug. So that's, I like to make little things when, y'all know when I come up with different words and stuff on the show. But anyway, so it's like meth and Tina. Well, meth, Tina, same shit. Tina and Kay, two big predominant drugs. And then now they're saying Tucci is this big thing, but I don't hear people really doing Tucci that much. But or Tucci, however the hell you say that stupid name. But like I said, Kay and Tina are the two main things that are an epidemic in the queer community, and it is a thing that a lot of the gays use to cope, especially if you're a Black queer person who's trying to find community. They get caught up in that because they want to feel a sense of desire. They want to be desired, and a lot of times when you're dealing with racism and homophobia, especially in our community, also you deal with a lot of racism and things. Black people feel like, oh, I need to do these drugs where they're partying and playing and all that other stuff, just so that way I can feel a little comfortable and relatable in that sort of way. So yeah, this is definitely something that I hope that Lil Nas X, if he was on drugs or if it was a mental breakdown due to the stressfulness of the career and figuring out how he's going to make money, because the word on the curb was he was broke too, that he was struggling financially and stuff out here in these streets, and he's out here trying to appease these people, and these people are mooching off of him, and he's keeping up appearances, living in and out of Airbnbs. This is the tea that's been coming out. I don't know if majority of it is true, but this is the rumors that's been floating around about him in regards to his career, that he's been struggling a little bit financially. And so hopefully he gets the help he needs. And when he does, that he can get back on his horse. Maybe he can write a song about his incident and on how he came out on the other side. And this will be the comeback that he definitely needs, and realizes that you don't need to resort to stunts and shows in order to be a memorable artist. Sometimes just being yourself and being open and honest about who you are, that's enough. So I say all of this to say, as I pull out the wrong thing, what do you guys think of this story regarding Lil Nas X and all the latest that's going on with him? All the drama regarding that. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. So y'all know what to do. Put all that stuff in the comments down below. All right. Let's see what the people are saying. That video, he looked like Studio City is not busy, by the way, especially that late. That's what I was saying. Like, people do not know what they're talking about when you're dealing with LA. There's a lot of spots that's closed down. Now, if it was West Hollywood, it'd be a different story. Because even when they close it down and close, yeah, there'd still be people out there and it's busy. Studio City is not busy. Century City is not busy. I used to work in Century City. That's over by Beverly Hills. So, there's a lot of places in California, and especially if you're in the Los Angeles area, that's not going to be popping with a lot of people. This is not New York, where even if it's late at night, there's still people wandering around or coming home from the club or whatever the case is. That's why I say a lot of these people that are speaking out about LA don't know about LA because they never lived out there. Partying with Tina and not Gina. There, that's that too. Tina, then you got Gina, which would be G, so GHB. And, ketamine. Ketamine. He said Cracker Barrel was firing people. One guy said, who knew a small online outrage would be so huge? It wasn't bad in the real world. Besides, outside a senior citizen audience, nobody in their 40s and younger going. That's what I'm saying. Like, I know what Cracker Barrel is, but wait a minute. I might have been to Cracker Barrel. I may have to look into that. Once. When I used to travel with my parents and stuff, and we would like pop into like a Ruth's Chris or a Denny's or something like that, or remember Shoney's? Oh my God, Shoney's used to give me my life. When I used to go, when we used to leave New York, it was like Shoney's, and then you would go to what was the other one? Roy Rogers, bitch. Let me tell you, a lot of times people be like that was the one thing I loved about Paris is Burning. Like when they like that was not a lie. When you would go to the Roy Rogers and they literally would have them burgers out. I'm like, I'm surprised y'all would put these burgers out the way they are. Nobody was stealing them. So they were stealing. Not these emojis. Not they cutting K with Finchy. That's another thing these days too. They put all that fentanyl and stuff, and I'm like, that's another reason why I avoid a lot of these new drugs. Like when I was telling y'all back in the day when I used to do like booger sugar and all that other mess, that was back when the drugs was pure. These days they put all kinds of mess and things, and I'm not putting all that other stuff in my body these days because they put all kind like when you smell like the K2 that they be putting in the weed and things like that. Like I was having a conversation with somebody on social media earlier, and they was telling me because Tyreek what is it? Tyreek Does, I think is his name. First of all, he cracks me up. He's like a New York TikToker. Yeah, I need to watch him. His little black queen cracks me up every time I watch his videos. And he posted something about like he misses the days when the drug addicts was discreet. He said some dude was snorting coke on the train literally across him. He said, I could understand if you went to a corner seat or whatever the case was. He was like, no, this heifer decided right across from me and then looking around like who noticed? I'm like, are you that damn paranoid? That's another thing too. I don't understand people who cannot sit and wait till they get home to do their drugs. Like when you solely depend on I gotta smoke before I go to work. I gotta smoke when I'm on my break. I gotta smoke when I'm leaving the work. I'm like, damn, y'all can't be sober. Like you gotta be high all day. Cause you fucking my order, I'm gonna be tight. But and this is like a lot of people I know in food and bev be on that. I know food and bev is stressful, but there be people that be doing them drugs. And he was basically saying like the person will be doing coke, whatever. So I missed the days when it was like, yeah, them hardcore drug addicts, and some of them still do be very courteous about it. They go in between the cars and do their business and then come back. Hopefully you don't fall, because I ain't trying to be stuck on no damn train while they try to scoop up your body. But and that's what I always be worried about. But then he was like, there was one person that decided to smoke some K2 laced weed or whatever on the train. It was rush hour, and it was kids on there. And I was like, why they gotta get this secondhand smoke? They said luckily they shamed the guy to the point where he got off the train. But still, it's like, come on now. Like, y'all need to go outside and do that shit. I understand like y'all junkies, whatever the case is, but I don't want to sit up in here and deal with that and smell all that mess. I'm not trying to get secondhand high or contact. Not fake veneers and nail glue, Tampa women accused of illegal like Dr. Heavily. Not you trying to read me to my I look like a golden corraller. I have eaten golden corral. The only thing is about golden corral I don't like, and that was one of the times when I would travel and stuff, and I would just that was the closest thing, especially when you're going down to the south or what was others, or you going to like Philly or Maryland, whatever. You doing family reunions. Golden corral, that is high blood pressure on a plate. One time I ate their food, their chicken was so damn salty. I was like, oh, like normally I like fried chicken with the fat on the grease and all that. I can't eat it. It was too salty. I remember one time one of my best friends, I went to his aunt house. She made pork chops. It felt like she literally soaked that meat in salt and then fried it. Because I was like, how do y'all eat this? Like literally, my whole tongue felt like it was bathed in salt. Nobody should cook with that much salt. And you wonder why you look at the current president, aka Kankle's McTaco tits, and you see them ankles as swollen as they are. Well, that damn salt retention and water retention. Not fair. I've never had a Fab New York moment. Oh, child, I was out here living. I don't live like that no more. I live vicariously through these other people. Not Sydney Sweeney having 2 back-to-back flops. MAGA didn't support. Of course not. They up in here, they're all. I told you, it's the Matrix in the real world. A lot of these trolls be online saying all this other stuff and always feeling like y'all gonna own the libs. And it's like, okay, but why don't you go out and support your girl? Go see her movies or whatever it is that she out here putting. Booger sugar, but not no. Well, ain't that the same shit? You know, some people call it booger sugar. Some people call it nose candy. I like booger sugar because it's old school and it's funny. But yeah, nose candy, same thing. Oh, I was up in here saying Coke. I was like, yeah, I should have been just saying what I've been saying. All right, y'all. So let's lighten up the mood and get off this Lil Nas X stuff. And let's talk about Mariah, because y'all already know by now, Mariah is getting the Video Vanguard Award. The rumors were swirling that actually they presented it to Miley Cyrus, which is the ultimate shocker, that y'all presented to Miley Cyrus first, and then she rejected it because apparently she doesn't, like, she puts out music, but I think she's not into touring and doing the whole thing, because she always says there's something wrong with her vocal cords, whatever the case is. She won't get surgery on it because she feels like it'll damage her voice, and I guess she likes the deepness of her voice. It's a cute little raspy voice that she has, and I like Miley's voice, but I don't think she's willing to come in and do all this stuff. And I think also with the VMAs, she didn't want to come in and have to do a medley of her songs. So she got her Grammy. She been putting out her music, and she's happy where she's at. So they said that, okay, well, we can't get her, then we just gonna get Mariah. So not y'all looking at an icon and thinking of her as a second fiddle. That's the ultimate shade. So yeah, so Mariah is gonna get this award and things of that nature. And what the people are saying is that, why can I find this? Oh, I got it. Some people are not too happy about this whole situation of her getting this award. So, the honor, which is given to an artist who has made an outstanding impact on pop culture and music videos, has previously been given to artists including Michael Jackson, Rihanna, Jennifer Lopez, Missy Elliott, and most recently, Katy Perry. In 1991, the award was renamed the Michael Jackson Video Vanguard Award in honor of the Thriller hitmaker. Here's the weird part. Why did I always think, or maybe it's because I've so many award shows is out of sight, out of mind, but why did I think like the Video Vanguard Award happened like 10 years ago? Like I didn't know it was been around since 1991. I just completely forgot. And that was back when music videos was prominent. But when you look at things now, it's like who's really out here making a real impact in the whole music video situation, especially with the way that we receive music now. Like people aren't really out here doing music videos like that. It's too expensive of a cost to make music videos. So people are not willing to put up that kind of money. And then it doesn't really have that cultural significance because back in the day when I was growing up, when somebody put out a music video, they was like, tune in 5 o'clock. We're gonna show y'all this video, or we're gonna world premiere it on TRL. Like that was how we got it back in the day. Now it's like MTV is not that culturally relevant. They still have the VMAs, which to the point it's not even on MTV. Now it's going to be on CBS. So they're trying to keep that whole situation alive. And I'm like, okay, that's cute or whatever. But I feel like at this point, they just really need to get rid of the Video Vanguard altogether because nobody really is that culture. I just don't feel like the award is as culturally significant as it used to be back when it was created in 1991. And to be honest, I love Mariah. I think she's one of the best vocalists of my time. You know, I was like, what, 8 or 9 when she came out with her debut album. So, um, with that being said, I just don't think that she should, like, I don't, there's no shade. I just don't see her as somebody as like a music video type of girl, whereas like her videos have that cultural significance, like all the people that were mentioned. That would be like Missy Elliott, Katy Perry, Rihanna, Michael Jackson, Jennifer Lopez, Madonna, and all of those people. Like, I don't feel like Mariah gives me that. Yeah, she had a couple of videos where she was doing like the spy chick and she was Bianca and she did all these other things, the Heartbreaker video and the Honey video. She had a couple of cute videos, but I just don't look at Mariah and think like visual icon. So, following MTV's announcement on Thursday, fans flocked to social media to share their thoughts on the media company's chosen Vanguard Award recipient. For every handful of comments praising Mariah's accomplishment, there were a few who criticized whether she was actually deserving of it. One person said Mariah Carey is definitely not someone who should have a Vanguard Award. They've been giving it to just anybody for years now. That whole award show is pointless in the last 7 years anyway. It shouldn't even exist anymore. Well, damn, tell us how you feel. Prince or Size, that's their name on Twitter. Now, fans further illustrated their points of view by naming other pop stars they feel are more deserving of the award, like Taylor Swift or Ariana Grande. I mean, I guess Taylor's definitely put a lot more effort into her music videos and things, and have really been out here creating music videos, even in a climate where people don't even give a damn about music videos. I don't know about Ariana Grande though. Like to me, I don't get memorable from Ariana Grande's music videos. Like she had a couple of great songs, but visual, I don't see it. Another person, so that one person said, excuse me, it should have been given to Taylor. They said Miley Cyrus, Lady Gaga, and Adele were also mentioned as being better suited for the award. Lady Gaga, you've been robbed again, wrote one Twitter user, while another added, we wanted Miley Cyrus, bro. Well, here's the thing, as I take a swig of water, because I don't want to be coughing up in this situation. I told y'all there was a rumor that was swirling that Miley Cyrus was offered the gig at the award, but she declined it. So that's the rumor that's going on. Adele, I like Adele. Her music is a little sappy for my taste. Yeah, we know she can sing the house down boots, but her visual, Adele's not that memorable either. Now, Lady Gaga, I could definitely understand that because Lady Gaga is like, if you want to talk about people of this generation, like she's the millennials, and I know y'all hate the comparisons, but let's call it what it is. She is the millennial Madonna, where her cultural impact, the songs that that's come out, the high concept music videos, a lot of stuff, which of course is the blueprint that Madonna set for the music, the MTV era, the live album, the live concert era, all of that stuff. Yes, I definitely understand why. Like, yeah, I could definitely see Lady Gaga getting it. Maybe she'll get it next year. But this year, look, she already got a lot on her plate. She's not even going to be at the VMAs because, like I told y'all, the same day of the VMAs, Lady Gaga is performing at the final leg, not the final leg, the final night of her MSG run. Yeah, September. I was thinking about that for a second. I was like, yeah, the final night of her Madison Square Garden 6-night run is the night of the VMAs. So she's not going to be there for y'all to see her get her awards, perform, what kooky costume she's going to wear. So, and she's been the most nominated out of all of them for this Mayhem thing. But it just apparently what happened was it falls on the same night. So, and she's not postponing it because September's already pretty packed in regards of events that we have going on at the Garden. So, y'all just gonna have to do without her. So others believe that Mariah hasn't necessarily made iconic videos and that the award should have gone to another artist who came up in the 90s, but are happy for her nonetheless. And that's why I said, like, her videos, she's had cute moments, but I don't never look at Mariah's videos as being iconic. And that's no shade to her, but it's like when we talk about like the level of the bar that they've set for video Vanguard, what that is supposed to entail, and I'm in my old school mind with it. That I don't think Mariah Carey, and I think maybe that's, and I don't know, because I feel like people's standards have pretty much gone down straight to hell at this point because we're in an era and we're in a time where people celebrate mediocrity and think mediocrity is fierce and fab. Oh, that girl ate where? Because I'm not saying Mariah, but oh, let's use Mariah as an example. Y'all see how Mariah perform on stage, giving the bare minimum? They was like, oh, she ate where? And there be artists that are younger than her that give the bare minimum on stage. And y'all be talking about, oh, she ate, do better. No, it ain't about doing better the next time. You need to be doing better every time. When you on that stage and you performing, you got to give 110%. You don't be half-assing and giving mid performances. Because that's not what people paying for when they go to a concert. That's not what people want to see on TV. Or it's like when Britney did the "Give Me More" performance. That was a hot mess, and she ate a lot of negative comments because of that. So one Twitter user wrote, she's never won a single VMA and no shade. She doesn't make iconic videos. 5 maybe. This could have went to someone else. Busta Rhymes. I do agree with that. TLC. Yes, I agree with that. And even though her career is kind of like fluctuated a lot, Christina Aguilera had iconic music videos. Now I know some people gonna get how you gonna sit up here and say Christina had better videos, but Mariah didn't because Christina Aguilera wasn't like, well, she vocally she's on the same level as a Mariah, where they have like those strong, powerful pipes. But Christina was doing all kinds of crazy stuff on her videos. She was out there being edgy. She was out there, experimenting with her sound and doing things. She had iconic music videos, especially during the strip era. So I could totally understand that. Whether as iconic as Britney Spears during the era when Britney was popping, not really, but she's a smidge above Mariah in the visual department. So they went on to say, because I don't know, I got caught up in Christina and didn't read the rest of the tweet. So they said, congrats though, because she's been in the game for a long time. And another added, she's the best singer of 90s, but her videos weren't so good at the time. And that's so true. It's like, yeah, Mariah had great songs. She sang the house down boots. But if we talk about visuals, she wasn't given that. But of course, the Trolls of Lambs, her, as you know, was the name of her fandom. Child, you know what this took me back to? Remember when we watched the episode of RuPaul's Drag Race and they wanted to do a thing on Mariah Carey and they couldn't even name the name of her fan base? I'm still going back to that's the episode that Honey Davenport got kicked off. I was like, child, didn't they say the butterflies? I'm like, no. How do you not know her team was the band? I mean the Lambs. So anyway, so the Lambs came to her defense, calling for the immediate end to all of the Mariah Carey disrespect. The majority of Carey fans weighed in on the discourse, have been called out younger. Wait, what? Fans weighing in on the discourse have called out younger, more critical fans for not being alive when the pop star was coming up in the music community. I don't know why I couldn't that line didn't process in my brain. So they basically blame it on younger people, saying that that's them with this child. I am of the age when Mariah came out, and I'm telling you that there's some accuracy in this. So the kids on the app are trying to say, not the kids on the app, are trying to say the Mariah Carey doesn't have an iconic music video. Please do not speak on years that you were not old enough to experience when the shit was happening. This is what one Twitter user said. Another fan shared a similar sentiment, writing on Twitter, if you were not at least 10 years old in 1990 when Mariah debuted, please, I told you I was around that age, excuse yourself from the conversation of her impact. I was about 8 when that album came out. An entire decade of nonstop pop dominance and iconography, it was something to witness in real time. Since breaking out in the music industry in the 90s, Mariah has dropped more than 100 music videos. She released her debut music video, Vision of Love, in 1990 at just 20 years old. Her subsequent music video releases, like 1995's Fantasy and 1996's Always Be My Baby, marked Carey's first and second time directing. Oh yeah, she did direct her music videos and stuff though. Long before Taylor Swift was doing that. Now, Carey was also heavily involved in developing the concept of several of her more narratively driven music videos. In 97, Carey released a James Bond theme music video for her 1997 single Honey. Yes, that video definitely stands out. Also, We Belong Together is a good video. Obsessed. I do love that song, especially because why you so obsessed with me? Boy, I wanna know. Yeah, that and the vocoder. So that and throwing shade at Eminem and some of the references from Mean Girls and The Devil Wears Prada, putting all the other stuff in there. So Mariah, one of the things about her videos in the later part of her career, like around the Emancipation, the Mimi era and Honey and all that other stuff, she was more or less into the high concept music video where it was more like very cinematic and that sort of thing. And I think it was because Mariah loves hip hop, and a lot of the videos that she was doing was kind of playing in that wheelhouse, like the big high profile Diddy music videos that I would see them jumping on jet skis and on yachts and doing all other craziness. Mariah was incorporating a lot of that in her videos because, like I said, she was a fan of hip hop and she was one of the girls who pioneered bringing bringing it more into the mainstream of collaborating with a lot of rappers and stuff on her songs, re-recording a lot of her original songs on those David Morales house remixes, because that was also what gave me my life when it came to Mariah. Like I always like when she redid her vocals on the David Morales remixes of her biggest hits. So Mariah was good with all of that. And then, of course, you remember Bianca, her alter ego, and working with the problematic Brett Ratner and all that other mess. And then the heartbreaking music video. So she's had a couple of good videos and a couple of bops and a lot of bops and a lot of hits. But I don't know. I'm still like on the fence about it. But look, when I watch this montage that they're gonna put together on this Mariah Carey music video thing, maybe it'll remind me of like, yeah, okay, so I see what they're showing me what I couldn't see just based off of just remembering stuff off the dome. And that's what I'm thinking. I'm just thinking of in my head. Like I haven't sat and watched a lot of Mariah videos because it's been years. But um when I watch the VMAs and they bring it up and they put out that whole montage of all her videos, I was like, oh, okay, and now I see what they see. But for now, I still feel in a way of like this is just y'all just putting anybody on this stuff because y'all need ratings over there for the VMAs. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding people being of their feelings are mixed regarding Mariah getting this Video Vanguard award. But I do think like the Video Vanguard Award is y'all got a couple more years of that because where y'all can give TLC and Lady Gaga and a couple of them the awards. And then after that, y'all gonna have to just come up with a whole new thing, kind of like y'all did with this new award that y'all giving Ricky Martin and I can't remember the names of them off the top of my head, but this Latin award that you're giving Ricky Martin and this other award that you're giving Busta Rhymes, because y'all should have gave him the Video Vanguard Award because he's another one that's like the Mel Missy, where they came up with iconic videos and things for their music because he was making a lot of futuristic, otherworldly stuff. So y'all just wanted to come up with a new concept and retire the Video Vanguard because yeah, once videos are still going the way of the Atari and all the other things that are obsolete, y'all gonna have to come up with something different. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. Let me know what your thoughts are on this story in the comments down below. You said a commentary on, I think you said on my lingo. An MTV icon, though. Excuse me. Billboard Artist of the Decade for the 90s, given in 2000 over every living artist. So I will give her that. Yeah. Taylor and Ariana are too young for a Vanguard Award. Let's be honest. Besides Gaga and maybe Rihanna, they give it to legacy acts and probably won't be any more hit songs. Yeah. Alejandro. Yeah, definitely. And she performed that song last night at the it's on the set list. The biggest applause came from when she did the older hits. Just Dance, Alejandro, Paparazzi, um, Applause. Applause got applause. Alejandro. Mariah never needed video artistry to push a single well into her until 40s. Yeah, that's probably what it was, is that when you're saying that, to add on to that, when you're talking about she never needed video artistry, you that's the whole point, I think, of what people are trying to say. Like, if you're gonna give somebody Video Vanguard, that means you not only are good with the songs and the hits and things, but you have to the video artistry has to be just as strong as the regular songs. Like it has to, I guess, sell the music. Mariah's never had to rely on that until later on in her career, where she, came out with Honey and so many of those other songs. She got more video MTV video focused and that sort of thing because it was like TRL was a thing, and when you're trying to keep on that same level and you're competing with this new generation of artists, because she was out since 1990, but when you out here competing with the teeny boppers and the metal artists and the rappers like Eminem and all of them, it's like, yeah, now you have to start thinking more about the visual aspect and not just the songs. Nancy Kerrigan's in the building. Mariah getting a Vanguard makes sense. I thought Gaga already had hers. I did too until I forgot. Miley's biggest bang was in the bangers era. Agreed. And because I said that too when I was in a group chat. I was like, Miley? Over Mariah? No. I just don't look at Mariah. I don't look at my, and I had somebody trying to convince me otherwise. I wasn't buying it. I was like, I do not see Miley Cyrus as that girl when we talk about visuals. It was like, yeah, during the bangers era, I could definitely understand that, but no. Not before and not after. Butterfly, my favorite Mariah video. That was a good video. Maybe Mariah's videos weren't visionary revolutionary, but her songs were so iconic that it helped the videos, if that makes sense. Xtina also makes sense, but is she doing music now? She is, but on a smaller scale. She's doing more like Spanish music, and her music ain't as big as she once was. But I've always felt like, compared to Britney and Christina, y'all already know Britney was the bigger star. And Christina, I think, due to her attitude and the way she came across behind the scenes with a lot of people, that effed with her career. So her career ain't as prominent as it once was. But if she'll do a residency or she'll do a tour, she'll do something, and the children go out and buy them tickets. But she need to be the next one to do the Sphere. Mariah helped make the blueprint for exactly, because I was like, with her directing her music videos, Taylor Swift started doing that years later. I feel when the artist wins these type of awards, they're also low key using it to promote their new stuff. Yeah, and she has a new album coming out, so that's for that. And also, like, yeah, last year, Katy Perry was about to drop her new album around the time when when she won the video Vanguard. So it could be that, and who knows? Maybe in 2026 they'll give it to Madonna again because she got a new album coming. I don't know. Um, they were trying to make her a Taylor, but she said, "I need old dirty." Okay, yeah, and then Taylor ended up years later getting somebody like Kendrick Lamar. Yes, Justice for Glitter. That was a good damn album too. Do people even make videos? That's what I said. I mean, there's some people out here that still make videos. Doja Cat just released a video for her new music. So there's girls out here that's still doing there's still people out here still making music videos. Conan Gray was out here releasing like these little mini movies for his album. So there's artists out here still releasing music videos and things, but not to the extent of like, because there's some that make like what do they call those? Like like these little visual thingies on YouTube where it's like you see like a little visual thing and they got the song to it. So they doing that. Important to note that they gave Mariah the iHeartRadio Icon Award earlier this year. I love Mariah, but clearly this is an older generation conversation. Justice for Oh, why? Because somebody said, "Oh, y'all wasn't born yet when she came out." That wasn't me. That was the people on social media. And I was like, "Wait a minute! I was alive when Mariah was making music. When she first came on the scene, I told her I was 8 years old, so I know her music." And my teacher, Mr. Lightfoot, made me a copy of her debut album on a cassette tape, and I took it home. He must have knew I was a little gay boy. So and I even heard he named his son after me. That's what I think he told me years later. So. Um, he made me a cassette tape of that debut album, and I could not I wore that tape out. Yeah, it was like I'm of the generation of cassette tapes. So it said my favorite Mariah album is Memoirs. I'm an Imperfect Angel. Sabrina put out a trailer for her next single on Friday, and there was a bunch of tweets talking about how she's the queen. Okay, when after it took 6 albums for her to pop, and now they want to call her the queen of music. It's no shade of her. I like some of her songs, but child, y'all need to relax. Like, who's coming up with these titles? Because there's no way in God's green earth that Sabrina Carpenter is out here being the queen of anything. Like, her career is on an up and up. She's striking while the iron is hot, before y'all forget. Which I think if you're a fan of somebody, you're not gonna forget about their stuff. Now, if you take 10 years off, like you're not Sade, you can't be taking that time off. Them days is over. Rihanna. But I think now that Rihanna has solidified herself as a legend in so many ways, she could take long periods off because the hunger is still there. Queen of Music videos for the new generation. And you said, I'll send it to you. I'm going. Visual. Yeah, they got visualizers now. Not Sabrina, who? Sabrina Carpenter. All right. Yes, they need to give Sade. Well, Sade don't be putting out enough stuff. I think like Sade's music, like with her visuals, she always like in a little tube dress, doing her little samba dance while she's singing her little songs or whatever. So some people probably feel like, okay, it's Sade giving the same visuals. So I don't see her getting one, but she is an icon. Shout out to Sade. All right, now speaking of icons, let's talk about Madonna, who apparently, according to this article that Robert sent me earlier today, referring to the show, um, her relationship with her new man, I don't know how long they've been together, like a year, 2 years. Yeah, apparently Akeem Morris, who's 29 years old and she just turned 67, her man has encouraged her to like lay off the fillers and all that other craziness that she be doing on her face. And I'm like, okay, daughter, I'm glad that you decided to lay off that mess because that stuff is not good for you, especially when you be out here looking a little cray. But let me so I can see the full fit. And it's funny how the older Madonna gets, it look like she's getting shorter. So Madonna has never followed rules when it comes to reinvention, but her latest move is turning heads in an entirely different reason. The Queen of Pop has reportedly decided to step back from cosmetic fillers and facial sculpting. I'm like, damn, you was getting all of that? Procedures that have become part of her public image in recent years. So, for years, her changing appearance drew attention, particularly after her face looked noticeably altered at public events. Yeah, she did look like she got stung by a bee or whatever. It was giving bluefish tease. So it was like, yeah, as soon as you go out and get filler and all the other craziness in your face, like you gotta give your face a couple of days to settle. You don't go and get them crazy injections the day before an event. And I think sometimes the doctors would even talk like there's subtle ways you could inject your face. Thank God I don't need that yet. But I would feel like if it ever came down to it and I need a little procedure or whatever done, I wouldn't reject getting it done, but I wouldn't go out here looking crazy. Whereas like, they put too much and they feel like you gotta overdo it. And then you start looking crazy like that time. What was it? There was some award show she went to and she was looking crazy. I think it was the Grammys, and they read her down to the floor. And I'm sure she was feeling insecure afterwards. So, excuse me. They said for years her changing appearance drew attention. They said, quote, she wants to look like herself again. This is what Page Six reported. Her face is so iconic, and she realized that it doesn't need to be overworked. She wants it to move. Well, child, we've been trying to tell y'all that. Like, you can get enough stuff in your face where it don't, like, you can take away the little wrinkles or the crow's feet or whatever the case is, or the little forehead lines. But you don't want to get to a point where you just like you want to have a little expression. You won't be out here looking like you got you're in a wind tunnel. So the new perspective is credited in part to her relationship with 29-year-old Akeem Morris. He's a Nigerian-born former soccer player whom she met during a photo shoot, and he dicking that down. I know some people are like, look, a lot of these young men like older cooch. So. And these older women still got a little, pep in their step. So, excuse me. So if you got that little pep in your situation, why turn that down? He said she's starting to listen to Akeem, who tells her she's beautiful. She doesn't normally listen to anyone, but she does him. Well, if somebody was telling you you pretty or you beautiful all the damn time, you would listen. Friends say Madonna seems more relaxed, playful, and glowing since spending time with him. She dotes on him. She plans trips, parties, even silly little dance videos. He makes her laugh, and he loves the attention. While those close to her admit the relationship may not last forever, as many of Madonna's relationships don't last forever, but that's just the nature of the game. Who says relationships are supposed to last forever? Madonna isn't chasing a fairy tale. As another friend put it, it's not a cougar fantasy. It's about having someone who's there when she can't sleep at midnight. That's Hakeem. And yeah, the stories have always been like Madonna is not the type of person that can fall asleep late at night. Like she's up until like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, which is probably why she be having us, waiting for hours at a lot of her shows and stuff when we were going to them concerts. So now fillers became one of the most popular cosmetic procedures in the last decade, offering instant results by smoothing lines, plumping lips, and restoring facial volume. They appeal to celebrities constantly in the spotlight who often face pressure to look younger than their years. But fillers also come with a downside, as too much can lead to puffiness, rigidity, and an overdone look. This was something Madonna herself was criticized for after, okay, it was a Grammy appearance that sparked intense online commentary. Rather than altering her features, Madonna is now prioritizing treatments that refresh the skin while keeping her expressions intact. LED light therapy helps boost collagen, oxygen facials, hydrate and plump, and lymphatic drainage reduces puffiness. These alternatives focus on skin health and radiance instead of reshaping. Madonna's choice sends a clear message that beauty isn't about chasing perfection, but about feeling confident and alive, as one report perfectly sums it up. She now wants to own being 67 rather than trying to look 27. In doing so, Madonna may be setting the stage for her boldest beauty resolution yet. And yeah, me seeing pictures of her and stuff, she does look good. I'm glad that she's leaving all them fillers and all that other craziness on because she was looking crazy at one point. And it's like, yeah, I'm sure there are alternatives out there that makes you look you are a woman of a certain age, but you still look and feel youthful. And if she wants to kind of get that look, girl, you need to hit up Cher or Chris Jenner. Because Pimp Mama Chris, I've seen recent pictures of her, and she looks very youthful. And it's like, okay, who is your surgeon? Who did you go to? And how they make you look the way you look? Because she definitely looks youthful in the face. And I understand you want to, like, when you have a lot of money, you want to look your best. You don't want to let yourself, like, your skin look all dried out and your nail beds look a best. Because I was seeing them close ups. They were showing the Donald Trump's hands, and he got that little yellowness on there where he was like a bad makeup job. They was like, they can't find nobody. No, because when you going against all the gays and stuff, who gonna paint him up? So I think he doing his own tan. You could have had JD Vance on that damn mascara that queen be wearing. So um I was able to say, look, Madonna has been looking good as of late. I've been seeing pictures of her and stuff. I'm looking forward, and like a lot of the photos, of course, they've all been retouched on social media because everybody gets retouched, even the people, you know, half her age, getting like things done where they use filters and all kinds of other craziness to look younger than they actually are. So as long as she's doing what needs to be done and doesn't be out here looking too crazy and stuff and look like she's like some chick that just stuck her finger in a socket and that it's the aftermath of being electrocuted, then whatever works for you, I say stick with it. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding Madonna and this all this talking about like, yeah, she's stopping the fillers and the facial sculpting and all that other stuff, and she's found a new way to maintain her youthful features and stuff because she was going overboard with all these crazy injections, which I always say, like everything in moderation. But you know, Madonna, she's always over the top and extreme with everything she does. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Yeah, Sade as a smooth operator. You said Sade in my 20th artist of all time. The only needle I would accept. Okay, if you need to up your testosterone levels, I could definitely understand that. Now I'm down to battling insomnia by taking. Okay, now I'm like I wasn't even thinking about that, but I'm like yeah, it probably could be. It's like to me you taking some BBC that'll definitely knock you out. You'll have a good night's sleep afterwards. All right, y'all. Let's see how many more topics we got into the end of this show. Um, okay. We got about 5 more topics. Okay, y'all. So we got 5 more topics at the end of the show. Normally, I always wait down to the 4, but I'm like, 5 is fine. 5 more topics at the end of the show. So before we get to those final 5, if you could please do me a solid and hit that like button. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Also, be sure to smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode. Chris Avalon Unfiltered. I will be putting in timestamps after the live stream so those who want to follow, come in during the playback and go and whatever topic tickles their fancy and just watch whatever topic is down there in the description. Please and thank you. And if you can, donate to the Cash App and all the other stuff. If you do super chats, I totally forgot about this. YouTube takes half. So if y'all want to donate to the Cash App and all that stuff, definitely do that. I'm finally finding ways of making this show look a little more expensive with all the ring lights and the cameras and this new fabulous mic that I have and all that good stuff. So, wait, hold on. You said Madonna has had insomnia since her mother died. Yeah. Um, yeah, I always say that she has issues with insomnia. So she stays up late and then I think a lot of times when you are like high functioning, you're someone who has trouble sleeping. I've always had issues sleeping and stuff too. Like I'll go to bed at like 2, 3, sometimes 4 in the morning and I'm up by like 9. And yeah, I'll be feeling drained, but it's just like, just it is what it is. All right, y'all. So now let's get into some homosexual news on the MAGA front, because child, the maggots are carrying out in these streets. But then again, who's surprised by all of this mess? So, um, Yeah, I came across this story on, of all places, Daily Mail, and which is shocking to me because Daily Mail always comes across as very pro-Trump. A lot of times when I read their headlines, I be wanting to smack the shit out of some of them over there because they'll put like Nepo baby or woke this, and there's a lot of bells and whistles that they use over there where it's just like, okay, if I see any of you clear people, because clearly it's y'all writing this mess. And I think they're British. Oh, y'all would have lost, y'all already got bad teeth as it is. So y'all would have lost even more teeth. But I know I'm stereotyping, but just like y'all be stereotyping with some of the stuff over here, I'm playing y'all game too. So anyway, there was this article that came out from the Daily Mail, which, like I said, shocked the heck out of me. So they said there's some classic cases, which I think we all knew this, that's rocking the MAGA political party. So, according to the Daily Mail, a secret homosexual gay scandal has rocked the Republican Party as married men, and a sitting member of Congress has been accused of sleeping with male escorts, even as their party thunders about traditional family values. It's always the hypocrisy with them. In candid interviews, young, muscular sex workers in Washington, D.C. described a booming business fueled by Republican officials, from state lawmakers and high powered lobbyists to federal government staffers and at least one congressman. The revelations come as the GOP faces renewed scrutiny over its hypocrisy on homosexuality, publicly championing the traditional nuclear family while privately indulging in the very behavior many Republicans denounce. Oh, they're not the only ones. It's not just the church. I mean, it's not just the Republicans. And you already know the log cabin Republicans. Don't even get me started on the most self-hating homosexuals. That ain't the word I wanted to use. I wanted to use the word that rhymed with maggot. But there's that, and then it's the church. The church, they be a lot of them up in there too, diddling with the children. But talking about homosexuality is a sin, you going to hell and all this other, it's abomination. No, your entire existence is a goddamn abomination. But let me get back into this before I get even more heated. The revelation comes as GOP faced reduced scrutiny, and then it said one DC based male escort described having a 2-year relationship with a sitting Midwestern congressman who, during that period, had multiple serious girlfriends. The 29-year-old sex worker with boy next door looks described dinners at downtown DC eatery Butterworth's, a popular MAGA haunt, followed by late nights, he told the Mail, on the condition that neither man was identified. The unnamed lawmaker is closeted, cautious, and carried the weight of a public image that left no room for who he really was. This is according to the escort. Saying, quote, it's gotten difficult to ignore the dissonance between the man I know in private and the votes that he cast publicly. This is what he said. The Republican child and Republican is now engaged to a woman. How much you want to think is the other one with long teeth and baby gums? And I'm not talking about Charlie Kirk. I'm talking about Tim Scott. Am I the only one that was thinking, huh? Because remember how all of a sudden when he was running for president, they was dogging where your girl at? Where your girl? All of a sudden, that self-hating, he's a home, maybe in the closet, because he was giving me Butch Queen tease. Like I was getting that vibe from him. And now, all of a sudden, you come out of the woodworks with a woman, and not only that, a snow bunny. Because what else are the maggots gonna get with? They ain't gonna get with no black woman. I mean, don't get me wrong, they are conservative black women, but you ain't seeing Tim Scott getting a black woman that's willing to go with the foolishness. So now another escort, a 35-year-old chisel, with chiseled features and a bodybuilder's physique, was also candid. He described officials in the federal government, a state senator, and lobbyists among his clients. The 29-year-old sex worker with boy next door looks described dinners at downtown DC eatery Butterworth's. Wait, is it repeating itself? And they said, I see a lot. Oh wait, no, it's They said, I see a lot of Republican clients on the low. I'm not going to out my clients, but there are many in the Republican Party. The revelations echo comments from Grindr CEO George Arison, who revealed his app sees dramatic surges in activity during major Republican gatherings, including a significant spike at the party's July 2024 convention in Milwaukee. Yeah, we talked about that on the show too, how like they said Grindr crashed 2 times during the RNC. Because they be the main ones out there carrying. Y'all hate the gays because the reality is the LGBT community who have no choice but to live out loud and proud or decide to live out loud and proud. And I'm talking about the femme queens, the feminine ones that can't, go stealth and butch it up when they need to, or just be overtly just, I'm a regular guy who likes sports and all this stuff, because not all gays are a stereotype. Not all homosexuals are into RuPaul's Drag Race, pop, dip, and spin in Vogue, paint their nails, do drag, and all other stuff. Yeah, I like my Drag Race, but there are people that like sports and things as well. And there are gay men that relatively like sports and don't have a sense of community where they feel like they belong in that. But they're not being highlighted. Whereas when you look in certain situations, there's this thing where it's like a lot of these people are sexually repressed. They come from the Bible Belt, or they come from a place that is deeply religious. They haven't come to the terms where they feel like they can be their authentic selves because they're so indoctrinated by what society has told them, what the church has told them, or them worrying about what society thinks, or the media representation, because stereotypes sell. So when you have a lot of that goes into the situation, a lot of these men are afraid to come out. And it's like, okay, if you want to live in the closet, live in the closet. But why are you putting policies together that's going to do harm for a very community that you feel ashamed of being a part of, but you on the low hunching men for money because they're going to keep your secret because they don't want to mess up their money. Like, I even showed a video on here of y'all from Crush Daddy. What was it? It was a while ago. I don't know if I'll be able to find it, where he was talking about political, like him, where he does he's I guess he does escorting stuff. I don't know if the video would still be there, but he talked about, I don't know if this is it though. um yeah, I don't think I'll be able to find it, because he was up in there talking about how, like, the how he got caught up in, he would sleep with a couple of male politicians. Because I think he always talks about, yeah, I'm probably not gonna find it, because he always talks about how, like, he creates videos and all this stuff on YouTube, or not even YouTube, but like on Instagram, whatever case, and his Instagram keeps getting taken down. Let me see if this is it. Um, Oh no, he's talking about whole stuff. So anyway, never mind. We'll just have to. If I can find it another time, I'll bring it up here on y'all. But look it up. Y'all probably be able to find it better than I would. But anyway, so to get back into the story, they said similar surges have been recorded at other GOP gatherings over the years, suggesting that for some Republican attendees, the party national meetings double as covert dating events. The GOP's 2024 platform quietly dropped explicit condemnations of same-sex marriage, a striking shift from past years. But the party remains heavily influenced by religious conservatives who view homosexuality as sinful, immoral, or socially destructive. But mind you, y'all be out here using and abusing women and children. But these religious cults view some homosexuality as sinful, immoral, and socially destructive. And there's people that's in that party, these religious folks who get caught up in gay scandals. And then, of course, you got this nutbag running the country. Donald Trump's version of the Republican Party may be less hostile to gay people than previous incarnations. House Speaker, well, I think it's a damn closet case. Mike, what do they call him? Moses Mike Johnson has controversially called same-sex marriage the dark harbinger of chaos and sexual anarchy, and once described homosexuality as inherently unnatural and a dangerous lifestyle. Isn't he the same one that monitors and his son's, if he's on the internet and if you're looking at porn and vice versa? Weirdos. LGBTQ activists say such rhetoric makes the GOP inherently anti-gay, despite signs of modernization. They point to the Trump administration's record rolling back protections for trans people, pushing book bans for titles with LGBTQ themes, and supporting laws restricting gender-affirming care for minors. And didn't we just go through something recently where they were trying to, like, with the museums and all this other stuff, so erasing queer history? Also, the Rainbow Cross Street that they had in Florida for Pulse, the Pulse nightclub, they just went over that. And I saw people went out there, repainted the street, was out there with their signs and showing like, okay, you could erase you could erase our history, but you're not erasing us. And it's the same thing with anybody who's of a marginalized community. Anybody who's not white and rich and can fatten the pockets of these nutbags running the country, they're gonna try to erase all our history with his woke, weaponizing woke nonsense, whatever, with Black history because they're making America look bad. I'm like, we're not gonna sit up here and erase the atrocities that make up our country. There are good things about America and there are negative things. And if you're feeling guilty about some of the stuff of our past, then that's a you problem. We need to do whatever we need to do. The history is there so we don't repeat it. But you want people to forget so that way they'll go along with it. It's like, no, we're not doing this fascist, authoritative bullshit. I'm not doing it. So you can push back as far as you want. We're going to just keep pushing. So they said, yet President Donald Trump himself is widely considered personally tolerant, even welcoming towards gay people. Well, if that's the case, he's showing differently. So why is it that you have people and you tolerate gay people, and I don't want you to tolerate me? I don't give a fuck if you tolerate me or if you accept me. You're gonna respect me though when I walk into a room. So I don't give a damn with tolerant. Tolerant, but okay, they there, they're not doing anything offensive, so I can deal with it. It's like, oh, it's there, I can deal with it. It's no skin on bone. It's like, no, because tolerant, I feel like it's just there's a negative connotation I get with the word tolerance when you talk about people living their life. Some people want to call it a lifestyle. It's not a lifestyle. It's not something that I just put on around my shoulders like it's a goddamn fur coat and just take it off, when I'm about to get into bed and go to sleep. It's a part of who I am. It's not all of who I am, it's a part of who I am. And people need to understand that. So that tolerant word, it irks me. Makes my teeth itch. So they said he has attended same-sex weddings, waved the rainbow flag at rallies, and appointed openly gay officials, including current Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, who has been married to attorney John Freeman since 2011. But what are their policies? What do they stand for? I don't give a good goddamn if you did all this other stuff. It's like, oh yeah, that's like saying some of my best friends are Black when you're racist. Like, miss me with that. Trump was also a mega fan of child, not the Village People. Oh, because that really solidifies you love the gays. Ain't nothing about solidifying the gays and all other shit than bringing up some damn Village People. Macho man, that's his mantra. He like to walk out because it makes him feel manly. Still no account of rainbow flag waving at the top can erase decades of Republican scandals. So let's get into those. A gay hookup grinder saw a spike in users. And then it said, the party also repeatedly been rocked by politicians who denounce homosexuality by day, only be caught in compromising situations at night. The cases are infamous. Larry Craig, the Republican senator from Idaho who campaigned on family values, was arrested in 2007 for allegedly soliciting sex from an undercover police officer in a Minneapolis airport bathroom. Child, that's what y'all be doing, that tapping up in there. Craig denied wrongdoing, but did not seek re-election because he was embarrassed. Now, Ed Schrock, not be confused with that what's his name? That shock dude, the one that went and spent all that money to make his office look like Liberace sex den. A Virginia Republican congressman and Baptist church president withdrew from his 2004 re-election bid after recording surfaced of him allegedly seeking sexual relations with a man via a hookup phone service, despite opposing changes to allow gay people to serve openly in the military. Wes Goodman, an Ohio Republican state lawmaker who championed natural marriage, resigned in 2017 after details emerged of sexual encounters with men, including in his state office. Numerous other state-level lawmakers and party operatives have quietly resigned or faded from public life following similar revelations. For critics, each scandal reinforces the charge of hypocrisy. Republicans invoking scripture and protecting the children. Oh, that's always their go-to. Y'all just like I told you, they're like those wind-up toys. Like y'all literally will do the same tight-ass talking points. And I always say, those who shout the loudest about this sort of thing, y'all be the biggest hypocrites. And then I was like, okay, I got to look into you because you up to something. You up to some things. You into some mess. And now I'm starting to think that you be getting down with the get down low key. So numerous other state level lawmakers and party operatives have quiet resigned. They said for critics, each scandal reinforces. And then, oh wait, I read that part. So then it said there are also been similar scandals involving Democrats. We're not only gonna get on the Republicans because Democrats ain't no angels in this either. Congressional aide Aiden Mascharovsky, who was 24. Oh, I remember this one. He was fired in 2023 over an amateur. Remember when he made the video in the what was it like in the congressional building or whatever? He had filmed the sex tape and it came out. But they said they're less controversial given the party's embrace of LGBTQ issues. So it's like, yeah, the Democrats, the way they've been positioned, when you look at the two different parties, Democrats seem to be very pro LGBT. Took them a while to get around to that, but they've been pushing forth a lot of LGBTQ plus policies and that sort of thing. Now they all scared to say trans or come to the aid of trans people because they weren't about the current GOP and stuff. But they're the ones who brought up, you know, I guess it's less controversial because it's like, okay, they one of us, so it's not a big deal. But the bigger deal is the hypocrites that come out of the GOP and the MAGA sect who sit and hate on LGBTQ people who always preach about family values, but they be the main ones throwing their legs up to Jesus. So Arison did not release exact numbers, but one analysis revealed that 166% jump in Grindr actively during the convention, saying you could be a homosexual and conservative. George Santos is not the most trusted voice in the Republican Party. There was a definite spike in usage. This is what Arison told Unheard, adding Grindr's user base is very diverse, including card-carrying Republicans. High-profile GOP figures such as Basent, he noted, show that gays are achieving a level of acceptance in society that is positive. But he added, there's no way to get around the fact that there are people on the right who are not yet okay with gay people. And that's fine. That's like, there are always going to be people who don't agree with you being gay. That's perfectly fine. But like I said, I don't care if you accept me and all this other stuff, but you should respect me. And I guess I'm different because I live in a metropolitan area. And I know there's people out there that are still coming to terms with who they are and their sexual orientation and things of that nature. And so they need time to get to that place of love and self-acceptance, which I guess is why they look to the divas like the Madonnas and the Gagas and so many others to make them feel that sense of love and acceptance and, where they're not getting it from other places. So when I pop on that favorite song, it's like I feel like I'm getting that from them. So they said the contradictions of GOP ranks go back decades. In the late 70s, California conservatives pushed the Briggs Initiative to bar gay and lesbian teachers from public schools, a move so extreme that even Ronald Reagan opposed it. It was during that period that the Log Cabin Republicans, the party's first major gay advocacy group, was formed, but acceptance remained elusive. Throughout the 80s and 90s, Republican officials could still derail a rival's career with mere insinuations of homosexuality. That culture of fear, secrecy, and public condemnation created fertile ground for double lives, a pattern still visible today. Though some insiders believe the GOP is slowly evolving. Really? Because I don't see it. Others argue that the party's mixed messaging, softening its stance on marriage while still vilifying queer culture, leaves the party with the worst of both worlds, alienating progressives while breeding distrust among younger conservatives who value authenticity over moral posturing. And that's what it is now. Like I've been saying, like so many things with the younger generation, the thing with them is you gotta feel authentic to them. They're not about like this moral posturing. They're not about the fake and the phoniness. Even though I don't know how they couldn't see through the Republican stuff and what they were doing, but I guess because regardless, even if they don't agree with the situation, they at least stood for something and they were in lockstep. And unlike the Democrats, who are all over and still are all over the place in regards of where they want to see the country move forward, they're not good with change and evolving with the times. They're still trying to hold on to what once was. Hence why you have such pushback from a lot of these old school Democrats against someone who's way more progressive, like a Zoran Mondani, where people are talking about, well, Hakeem Jeffries should give him his endorsement. I'll tell you, at this point, he's surging so high in the polls out here in New York. We don't need a Chuck Schumer's endorsement. We don't need Kathy Big Teeth, Nosferatu looking ass Holschel's approval. We don't need who the other one? Hakeem. Speaking of fucked up teeth, Hakeem Jeffries. We don't need APAC Shakur's approval. in regards of whether or not he's going to endorse Zoran. When you come to AIPAC, we don't want all of that, because especially when a lot of people out here are against what's happening to the Palestinian people and Gaza and occupying the West Bank. So if you're not going to get on board, then get left behind, because your ass is about to get voted out. Now, they also said that Grindr is making secrecy harder than ever. With GPS matchmaking, it's difficult to slip into a city without leaving a digital trace. So I don't even know how these days these boys is getting is hooking up. And so it was the Senate hearing room where this guy Aiden Massey Sharovsky, I think that's how you say his name. He was fired because he was making a sex tape in a Senate hearing room. That it was getting specific to where it was that it happened. And there was another one, because I know this is a long video, but there was a video that I saw where was it Tim Miller? I don't know if you ever watched this podcast, although I wish Tim Miller would have went a little harder on Hakeem Jeffries. But Tim Miller went and asked Adam Kinzinger, who is a former GOP congressman. He was asking a bunch of thoughts on the topics or whatever the case is. Well, they were talking about a plethora of topics. I was trying to be able to play if I can get. Hold on, now it's playing. Okay, hold. Why is it this ad? Hold on, let me rewind it back, because now I can bring it up and show y'all the video, and then rewind it, because I was like, "Oh, look, I got the video," but I had to make sure that damn ad stopped playing. So yeah, we'll come back and then we will talk. Please hold.
I have a story from the Daily Mail this morning I do have to read to you. One DC-based male escort described having a 2-year relationship with a sitting Midwestern Republican congressman.
Oh, God.
Who, during that period, had multiple serious girlfriends. The 29-year-old sex worker with boy-next-door looks described dinners at downtown DC eatery Butterworth's, which is a very popular MAGA hangout.
That is.
And he said that was followed by late nights. The congressman is now engaged to a woman. So
wait, do we know? So he's not naming?
He's not naming them, but you were a Midwestern congressman. Can we rule you out?
Yeah, you can rule me out.
Okay. Do you have any other thoughts? Do you have any other friends in Congress who were kind of?
Yeah, it's going to end up being a surprise, I guarantee you. But I mean, if he's taking this dude to Buttersworth, like, you'd think, like, they obviously have to have a cover story, like he works for me or something like that. But look, if this is true, it's not
you can kind of tell. Aaron Schock had cover stories back in the day.
Yeah.
About his staff was very muscled, great teeth.
That's right.
They all had kind of a similar look about them, and maybe it was just a coincidence. So cover stories, sometimes there's some weaknesses in your cover story.
Listen, I think if this is true, if this male escort's telling the truth, it's probably not going to be long until this comes out, because if I actually sat down with a list of Midwest congressmen who just got engaged to women, I'm sure it's down to 1 or 2, right? I just don't know, but I'm sure it's down there.
All right, so there you have it. But to wrap this whole situation up, yeah, I mean, I know it's a lot. First of all, you got to be deaf, dumb, and blind to be surprised by this tea. And some of the, especially when you're dealing with some of the biggest self-hating hypocrites, particularly those who are in the closet but will vote on anti-LGBTQ plus policies. And, they the main ones that be throwing their legs up to Jesus and having a bussy power drill behind closed doors. So let's not forget, as I was saying many times throughout this story, that, the 2024 RNC Grindr crashed 2 times, not once, but twice. So the girls was out here, cleaned out, lubed up, probably had the butt plug up in them for like for like a couple of hours before they was about to go down to that RNC. The bussy was whistling while it was walking, just perking up and ready for the escorts. The escorts be making good coin when they come down to a lot of these events. And that was when I was telling you about what Crush Daddy was sitting there saying, and I wish I could have found the video to drive this story home even more, so you can hear from his own mouth that this was something that he has encountered, and this is something like in those type of situations with these closeted politicians where he makes a lot of his money. So I believe it, and I've been saying this for years. It's funny how year after year after year, this stuff has to resurface when we get caught up in these situations where they want to roll back the rights against queer people. Now, secondly, based on the headline, while it could be a laundry list of those sexually repressed, homosexual, closet case men's is, the blind item is referring to, the T does definitely reek of Tim Scott. Remember the black version of Charlie Kirk, only when they had the same baby teeth and large gums, was running for president. And when he was pressured on his non existent relationship, all of a sudden he appeared out of nowhere with a white fiance. And what I've come to learn is at the end of the day, what those who speak the loudest against this community, the queer community, whatever, particularly Midwestern politicians, they the main ones who secretly like men giving a bussy a uppercut. So when you out here getting a whole uppercut on the bussy, this is what you got to deal with. So I say all this to say, because this was a lot to break down, Chad. What y'all think of this story? Excuse me, of these, hypocritical, closeted Republicans trying to roll back rights, but be the main ones out here later low and spreading the wild for that meat, that sweet meat. So whatever y'all thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Oh, wow. It's like got a lot. What is going on? Oh, you said, let's Now, Madonna battling insomnia by taking. Oh, yeah, we read that one already. Madonna has had insomnia since her mother died. Oh, yeah, I read that one too. I'll be going up too far. A Republican just got outed. I'm shocked. Then. Not the MAGA pump and dump. That's literally what it is, a MAGA pump and dump. Tim Scott was giving me sister energy. Okay, sister, you been on my mind. Sister, you're two of a kind. No, sister. That's literally what that heifer is giving. What are the LGBT for Trump at now? Wait, where are the LGBT for Trump at? Okay, that's what I've been saying. They've been awfully quiet with all this stuff going on. And that's when there was somebody that was saying, "Oh, the gays need to go out and get." I forget who it was. Oh, was it Hillary Clinton? There was someone. Oh, the gays need to go out. I said, "What the fuck's the point? They're trying to roll it back. So you get married and what? Is it going to be null and void, or Because look, Brown versus Loving, they get rid of that. What Clarence Thomas going to do? Because he the one that's signing these bills to roll back everything. I said, you don't think they're going to come after interracial marriage, sir? And that big back Cadillac you married to? Closet Republicans, I don't mind getting outed. It's they're trying to yeah, exactly. That's what I said. When you're up to the hypocritical stuff, I don't mind you getting outed. You deserve to get outed. Now I would stop not you to my clapping P. Oh yeah, I think that's why he drinks so damn much. Cause low key, he like getting them cheeks clapped. Trump's former lawyer and bestie was that gay. Yeah, Roy Cohn. That was someone who basically taught him how to be the way he is, especially in business and all that other stuff. So I mean, they had the movie that came out with Sebastian Stan playing Trump, not the understalled senator. YouTube is getting paid by the Israeli army to air. Oh yeah, I saw that video. Somebody sent it to me. One of my Palestinian friends, he sends me Zeus. Shout out to him. He's always sending me stuff regarding what's going on with what's going on with Palestine and very, a lot of the anti-Palestinian mess that they be doing over there. And so on, like there's not even the Israeli army. I think also American troops they're sending to spread misinformation on social media. In the first term, we were safe. We're not now because majority didn't vote for him. And I think also is because he had people in his cabinet that actually worked in politics. He's putting loyalists and a lot of people who don't understand politics, these religious nutbags and this other stuff, and allowing them to take control of our country. Sniffy servers were running overtime. Okay. Oh, Sniffy's is another one. The state on a platter. Answer apparently the governor of Maryland pissed him off. He's thinking about taking the he is so annoying. And I like the fact that he's trying to redraw the maps and stuff out in Texas. And Newsom said that he's gonna do the same thing in California. Y'all keep it up. Y'all want to play that game over in Texas and things, we're gonna do that in other places too. So and this is what you have to do at this point. I know some people like you want Democrats to fight, and then when they fight, you want to call it performative. It's like, damn if you do and damn if you don't. It's like, yeah, we're gonna be messy and we're gonna be just as petty as they are and show their hypocrisy, but we also gonna push policy eventually. Not your feet hurt. I said, how do I know it's not Tim Scott sips tea? I thought it was. I mean, it could be a pleasant. I mean, child, I would be surprised if they told my Lady G, aka Lindsey Graham, the poppers was sold out, honey. They deserve to be outed. Okay, ban and restrict our rights and livelihood, but want access to our bodies on the low. Isn't that always how it is? With the biggest hypocrites, the racists, the homophobes, and all the transphobes. You don't like trans people, but you like fucking them. You don't like gays, but you like getting fucked by them. You don't like black people, but you like BBC. Make it make sense. Happens a lot. All right. Speaking of gays and mess, let's get into this Bobby Berk story. So apparently, he's out here saying that people the people was mad at him over the rollout of his new HGTV show, particularly fans, well, critics or whatever, and Karamo even came out and said something. And so yeah, let's get into this article, and then I'll give my overall thoughts on this whole situation. So in June, People exclusively revealed that Berk, who's 43, would be hosting his own HGTV series called Junk or Jackpot. The announcement came one day after Netflix revealed Queer Eye, the hit makeover series Berk starred on for 8 seasons, was officially ending after 10 seasons. Saying, quote, have to say, I swear on my mother's life, my show's announcement date was set, the interior designer tells People during the At Home with Narwhal event at Los Angeles on August 21st. That was a mouthful to say. At Home with Narwhal event. No, this was planned. Show announcements don't happen on a whim. The new series will follow Berk as he helps homeowners decide to sell some of the unique collectibles to raise enough funds to update their homes. Saying, we go out and we find people who are collectors, but these collections have really taken over their lives and sometimes in a very negative way. So I go in, I help them get it under control. Despite the unintentional timing of the show's announcement, Berk admits he received criticism for it, including from one of his former co-stars. He said, quote, even Karamo Brown was like, girl, the day after? I'm like, no, I promise you it was already planned. He adds, some people were like, could you have waited? And I'm like, well, yes, but no. He has, he said, I mean, Netflix could have easily given me a heads up when that was going to be announced. I mean, I was on the show for 8 seasons, but yeah, it's fine. I know y'all caught that read because I'm sitting there like, wait a minute. So you gonna sit up in here? Y'all got the unlitigated goal to sit up in here and talk about, but you could have gave us a heads up. Oh, you trying to be messy? I'm like, bitch. First of all, I was on this show for a long time. What was it like? 7 seasons. The final 2 seasons, because this is the final season they got coming out. If it hasn't aired already, I don't know because I don't follow Queer Eye like that. Queer Eye, this version of Queer Eye has never given me what I got from the original Fab Five, which would be Carson Kressley and Kyan Douglas and Jay Rodriguez and all the others that I can't remember off the top of my head. But I used to love the old show that came on Bravo, and that was the one I watched. But this one, I'm like, y'all not giving me what once was. So cute or whatever that y'all doing, what y'all doing over there with Queer Eye. But my thing is, why do I got to sit and give y'all an announcement? You don't think people can multitask? Like, we in a generation of people watch regular cable, they watch streaming services, even though cable is going down the tubes. But you don't think I can watch Netflix and when I'm done binging all them episodes of Queer Eye, like I can go and watch HGTV and see Bobby Berk over there do what he does? Like, I shouldn't have to sit and have to make a whole citation and give a whole speech and roll out a red carpet and invite a bunch of press and do a whole pomp and circumstance or come on the egg to announce my damn show. It's like, well, I got to do all of that. So what, appease you bitches? Fuck out of here. It's like, I got my own show and y'all about to be unemployed. I mean, except maybe Karamo, because he still got that tight ass talk show over there on Channel 11 that I don't know nobody that watches. But it got renewed for another season. So apparently, like Kelly Clarkson, like Screaming for Hudson and Drew Barrymore, somebody's over there watching them damn shows. I'm not, but somebody is. So yeah, for those of y'all who need a refresher, the Queer Eye was, stars Brown, Tan France, Anthony Porowski, Jonathan Van Ness. He left the show in 2023, and then he was, who was the only one that? Oh, Jeremiah Brent. He's the one that replaced him on the show. So yeah, and all of this, I guess, cooked up because him and Tan France apparently were not getting along on the show because there was a Vanity Fair thing that came out, and where he explained that he experienced a rift in his relationship because Tan France went and tagged him on the Queer Eye situation about the announcement of the new season, and I think they tagged a Instagram page that wasn't as active versus his main Instagram page. I think it was a business page or something that he wasn't using a lot of. But his regular Instagram page, he didn't tag him in it because I guess Bobby had him blocked or something or another. So, or was it the other way around that Bobby was the one that was tagging the people and Tan blocked him or something? I don't know. It was one of them shits. I don't care enough to even refresh the memory or look it up, but I know it was one of them that did that. So he said, Tan and I had a moment. There was a situation, and that's when, excuse me, that's between Tan and I. And it has nothing to do with the show. It was something personal that had been brewing and nothing romantic. Just to clarify that, yeah, because apparently all y'all think that all of us gays be out here, playing butt wrestling with each other. And it's like, just because you homosexual doesn't necessarily mean that we all be out here having full on, Peacemaker season 2, episode 1 as orgies with each other. Like we don't all out here be doing it. We don't all hunt each other quiet as it's kept. So a source told people following Berk's exit that he had a handful of projects in development and is also busy with his own company. So Junk or Jackpot is set to premiere in late 2025. The 6-episode season, EP'd by John Cena, is, speaking of Peacemaker, is Berk's first official solo venture with HGTV. He officially made his network debut as a guest judge on the home competition show Rock the Block on April of 2025 and said that he's excited to help passionate people sift through their cherished items and blah, 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 so on and so forth. So congratulations to you over at HGTV. I heard that HGTV ain't really popping like it used to because one of my friends who loves home goods, he's all about the home goods and stuff and watching those type of shows. And they just be giving random people their own shows and it just be like they be doing these makeover house things that don't never look good. I'm like, I don't know. It's been a minute since I watched HGTV, so I don't know what's going on over there. But I do like a lot of home decor type shows. I was into that one point, but then life started lifing, and I don't be having time to watch them shows like I used to. So I definitely want to hear from you. But I think with Bobby Berk being a part of this, like he's the real deal. He'll definitely do a good job over there, and he'd be perfect for HGTV. And said these are the frauds they be having doing these type of shows. So I'll say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Do you feel that Bobby Berk should have notified members of Queer Eye and all those others, or given space in between? And it's like, no, if they had this plan, maybe it was shady on HGTV's part. Maybe they planned it. And now Bobby, because he's the face, they wanted to they wanted to capitalize on this whole thing because of all the drama that's going on behind the scenes. And Bobby was, and Bobby unfortunately had to be the sacrificial lamb in all this mess. And now he got to come on TV with the broom and dustpan and try to clean up this mess. Even though it's probably the networks the ones that's being the shadiest, but because they don't have a face, you don't know who these execs are that's pulling the strings. You can't go after them. You go after the celebrity because you see them. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Did I read this one? It said absolute selfishness, all because they couldn't live their truth and hate seeing us who's open and about being comfortable in our skin. Yeah, I was saying that a lot of them do that. So they try to roll back a lot of our they want to roll back these policies because they can't live in their truth. They can't be their authentic selves. So they come at us. Not Crunch and Hunch. Look, if they made a cereal called Crunch and Hunch, I definitely would purchase. We had a moment, nothing romantic. I hate that this needs to be exactly. And that's why I said, like, which is why I had to add on to that because it's like, yeah, we had a moment, nothing romantic. We constantly have to clarify these things, and we shouldn't have to because people automatically equate being a homosexual, the sexuality and homosexuality, or the sex and homosexuality as like that's what we doing. All we doing is hunching each other. And it's like, no, that ain't what we doing. Not all of us. Sorry, but Karamo can also take a seat along with the rest of them. Child, I never particularly cared for Karamo. I thought Karamo was he's a phony. Like, I remember back in the day when I used to watch him on The Real World, he was very much like Umgawa Black Power, fists in the air, very, very all about Black excellence and all this other shit. And then when his career started to pop off, all of a sudden you follow the rest of them Negroes over there and started thinking that by associating yourself and cucking to white men and being in relationships with white men, that was going to get you a higher status, like the Billy Porters and so many other these Black queens that be out here getting in relationship, that you feel like the only way that you can get some kind of cultural significance or recognition is being with a white man. And there's nothing wrong with interracial relationships. I'm a product of being an interracial child. So, or being in or my parents being in an interracial relationship. However, they don't be trying to, it don't give that, oh, you was all about Black this and Black that, but you only getting with somebody white for like a status situation, or for some who do it where they will put down their own community just so that way they can get that access or prop up that white person. You mean a snack crunch and munch actually had it? Is it? I need to try that. I never heard of it. You said the white validation chasing. Okay, because we definitely know about that mess. But anyway, like I said, do you? If you into interrelated relationships, that's great, but you don't need to shit on your own community in order to have that. Not so many beards. Is that from the GMOs? All right, y'all. Lord Child of Ghetto. Okay, let's get into this drag race news because this one is messy. So I was minding my business. Well, all of a sudden, I'm like, what the hell is going on? Because I did see something online about Kandy going in on somebody. And I was like, wait, what is happening? So I decided to do a little research. So apparently, the House of Aja, which makes up of, who I remember, Dahlia Sins, Tsunami Muse, Kandy Muse, and Aja. So the House of Aja is back together. They're traveling the world. I think they just wrapped up the UK leg. UK, hun. I think they just wrapped up the UK leg. Now I believe they're in Spain. So they're traveling the world, doing their drag performances, things of that nature. And then there was some queen, can't remember who it was, but I know she got a what is it? One last name Brooks. I cannot remember. Damn, I forgot her first name. If y'all remember, tell me in the comments if y'all know the T. Um, she went and made a comment, and there was some people that were on social media that was making comments talking about like, I don't know about this show. Like they felt like it wasn't giving and a whole bunch of other stuff. Get to the part where Elliott with two T's, or somebody would call Elliott with three K's, decided to associate herself in the conversation, posted this weird, oh, now I remember what it was. So I happened to go on social media. Somebody posted this picture of Elliott with two T's. I think it was Kandy, where she had on that pink wig and looked a mess. It looked like a damn peacock or ostrich. Like she posted, I'm like, why is this coming up again? And why can't he be messy? Now I got the context of Elliott started first, so Kandy is out here finishing the mess because Elliott started. She jumped in the comment and posted a picture of Kandy looking a mess in one of her drag outfits and wrote a little comment or whatever in someone's comments. And then that's what forced Aja to come out and come after the girls because I was trying to read her. Yes, Miss Aja Miyake Mugler. And here's what she said. Wait, hold on, because I was like, I'm sitting there telling y'all the tea. And where is it? So I was like, I wanted to pull up this picture. I would show y'all the Reddits because I went on Reddit to get this tea. So yeah, let me just leave that picture there. Even though Kandy don't look like that no more, she lost a lot of weight. So I was like, let me just leave that up here. Okay, so Aja went and said that. She said, it never fails to amaze me how quick our own community is to tear us down. Instead of celebrating 4 Black and brown artists selling our shows across the UK and about to take Europe, some of you would rather sit online dissecting bodies, costumes, and bank accounts like you're qualified. Let me be very clear. Pageant drag is beautiful, and I respect it deeply, but it is not what I do. What I do is very different. It is not the same lane. It does not ruin what you do, and what you do does not ruin what I do. There is room for all of us. No, so stop comparing apples to oranges. And let me make something else clear. Nothing I am saying has anything to do with it was Chevelle Brooks. That's what it was, because I cannot remember her first name. With Chevelle, I respect her. I love what she does, and I have always spoken highly of her. This is not about her. This is about the people in these comments who think nastiness equals critique. You saw a single photo from the end of a 5-minute high energy finale and thought that made you an authority. Meanwhile, every show has been custom, concepted, produced, and executed. Multiple costume changes, hours of choreography, video packages, sold out venues, fans screaming and on their feet. The people who were actually there showed nothing but love, and yet some of you still want to run to the comments with venom. That says nothing about us, but says everything about you. And before I get to reading the rest of this thing, she is absolutely correct, because I was seeing videos of them online rehearsing. So they have been putting in the work, rehearsing and doing the choreography and all this other stuff. And people was up in here trying to make comments. And there's always people who don't know anything about nothing, that are sitting at home watching stuff in the confines of their bedroom or their basement or whatever the fuck they at, and always got to make a comment about something they don't know what the hell they talking about. And let's not pretend body shaming a trans woman in 2025 is vile. Talking about padding and proportions while ignoring artistry and performance exposes how shallow and miserable you all are. Drag Race did not make us millionaires. Many of us put every cent into this tour, some traveling with pennies in our pockets, and still we created something bigger and better than you could ever imagine. That is called sacrifice. That is called vision. That is called work. And since we are naming names, because now here come, let's be real. Elliott with 3 Ks had the audacity to comment on this post like she's not a racist, calling Kandy Muse a jump scare. Oh, that's what it was. So yeah, she posted a picture of Kandy in not looking the best in her drag, or whatever the case was, and said it was a jump scare. So bitch, if you're gonna sit and block me on things and you're gonna post some stuff and now you want to sit and act like you want to play the victim, if you want to come for me, don't come for me unless I send for you. So I'm gonna read you down to the floor. Now let me finish this, and then we got to get to what Kandy had to say, because Kandy went in, and y'all need to see this video. So she said, this from someone who served some of the worst fashion in the history of Drag Race. The last person who should be commenting on anyone's looks is her. The irony is almost funny if it wasn't so tired. So yes, you can sit here in the comments being nasty, bitter, and loud, but while you rot behind your screens, we are thriving. We are loved. We are selling out shows. We are making history, and your bitterness will never take that away. And for that, I pray and send love to every single one of you. I hope you find healing. I hope you stop being artificial and start focusing on the true things in life that matter. Because what we are doing is real, it is powerful, and it will outlast every nasty little comment you type. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a read. Okay? So after that whole situation went down, I don't even know if there was comments. First of all, we don't give a fuck what people had to say. And I like the fact that, at the end of the day, Aja is full on a Banji girl. She is somebody from New York City. She don't take no shit. And this is what we do. It's like, I'm gonna read you down to the floor, but I'm gonna also be like, you know what? You can take that and put that way back there. That's how we do. We will drag you down to the floor and then we'll prop you up again with your little things or whatever. And so I was living for her for saying that. But then, of course, they did a live where they jumped on the line and Kandy had a few words to say regarding Elliott with 3 Ks. And so, with that being said, let me pull up that video so y'all can see that, because I came with the receipts, Chad. No, that's not it. There it is. Courtesy of Reddit. Shout out to y'all, because y'all definitely gave me my life with this. We're gonna come back, we're gonna play this video, and then we come back and talk. So,
Miss Elliott, I'm speaking to you directly, because I'm sure someone's gonna screen record this and post it. Hold on, girl. Miss Elliott, I'm speaking to you directly. You got me blocked on all social media. You've had me blocked for like 3 years now. After I called you out for not apologizing for being racist, after doing the NAACP video, or after I called you out for asking what genitals does God make have in the van. Don't remember. But
none of your business.
You got me blocked after 3 years. You somehow found a meet and greet photo, which I'm sure you don't know what the fucking meet and greet is. You've never done it in your life. I had to put a contract clause as to how many numbers I didn't have on my meet and greet because they're oversold. Because I had a meet and greet. You went on my tag photos because that's the only way you're going to see a meet and greet photo. Or maybe you went on DFIU events on their Instagram and looked at their tag photos because you try to beg for a gig, like you're always begging for a gig, like you're always begging Prana for a gig, like you're always begging Fire Island for a gig. Right. You went on the tag photos to look for a meet and greet photo of me. First of all, by the 50th meet and greet photo, I disassociate sometimes.
But why do you have
someone,
my thing is, why
so,
do you have a picture of her?
Right, so you want to screenshot a photo of me and post it in this comment thread as if I wasn't going to see it. Bitch, let me tell you something, Elliott. Keep my fucking name out your mouth. I've already got you blacklisted from all of drag around the world. You want more? Do you want more? Because it seems like you do. And then she wanna act like the victim. This is the shit. This is why I don't like this bitch. Because she always gonna be the victim. Why you poking me? Why you screenshotting photos of me and putting it in
Because she
comments?
thought nobody was gonna see it. And that's what makes you pussy, because you thought nobody would see it. And then when you do shit and you be sly about it, that's when shit catches up to you. Because now you don't have just one bitch after you. You got a bunch more.
And it ain't alleged that you racist, bitch. The whole season 13 cast knows it. You sat up in that fucking van with Olivia and the rest of the girls and asked us, you know what? For the respect of men.
Pay it.
Either way, y'all, we're having a good time. We're going to go outside. We have some dinner here in Madrid. And we know we might go out and get drinks and stuff. She wants to refresh the beast. She called me ghetto. She called Simone's look ratchet. She asked a van full of girls what genitals Gottmik had. Then blocked me when I called her out about it. Then went and did a video with the NAACP, the Vegas,
she did a video with
the Vegas branch because she was friends with one of the girls. Didn't take accountability for it. And then have the audacity to go on the group chat. And I have the fucking screenshots. Have the audacity to go on the group chat and say, hey guys, can you share this video? And then I go back, Elliott, you have not apologized to the fans or any girl in this group chat over the shit you said. And you want us to share your video? No. What she wanted to do? She wanted to block me. Girl, fuck you. You racist, transphobic ass.
You know, and my thing was that people was trying to get at you on Twitter for even saying anything in the first place, which boggled me.
Girl, no.
Girl, you know I was fighting with people in your Twitter comments this morning?
You were?
Yes.
If Elliott came on the fucking internet tomorrow and said, you know what, y'all, I fucked up. I'm sorry for saying this, and that, bitch, and say I'm going to learn better, I'm going to drop it. I'm going to leave it alone. Because what else can I want from you? You're just taking accountability.
Right.
You say you're going to grow. I'm going to let you slide. But
I think if somebody is apologetic and takes accountability, you holding somebody in a never-ending cycle of punishment does not do anything. Hope all the girls that were commenting on that thread get ready, because if they were pissed already from seeing us, they're going to get way more pissed. And I think all of them should sign up for a therapist, because that would be the proper thing to do at this point.
Therapy does work, y'all. I've been to therapy. I haven't done it in a while, but I've been to therapy.
Well, there, and then it just ends there. So I just gave y'all to hold on with this situation. I just wanted y'all to get the whole content and not just a little clip, because, you know, a lot of people like to take things out of context when they don't need to be taken out of context. Now, let me show y'all the picture, because while I was playing that video, I was like, let me try to find this Elliott with 3 Ks situation, because here's the thing. I agree with them on the whole situation. They was talking about accountability. Like, they would say, if you was willing to listen and learn and take accountability for the things that you've done, then I think they would have let you slide in a lot of situations. But no, you want to go up there like the white girl that you are, and you want to play victim and try to act like, oh yeah, I'm doing all the work, but you're not really doing all the work. So, wait, hold on. Let me take that out. So you didn't really want to go in, and they felt like you didn't want to take accountability for the things that you was doing. So that's why they feel like we don't believe you in some of the things that you was doing. And then you go and decide to go on Joseph Shepard, which I'm not going to write out the person, but a friend of mine orchestrated that whole thing to go on, for you to go on and try to make amends and work things out and tell your side of the story. Because it's like, yeah, you have been blacklisted. You doing cruise ships and things of that nature. But for the most part, a friend of mine was able to finagle that and make that interview happen. But watching the video, it backfired, because it didn't feel like you played any kind of accountability for what you was doing. It seemed like you were making excuses and all these other things, and you were called out for it, and people was in the comments and they ate you up for over that. So you didn't really it didn't feel like you learned your lesson, or you was willing to come in humble and be like, you know what, yeah, I shouldn't have, the way I was coming across was saying and asking certain things about Gottmik being a trans male, and you asking evasive questions like that, or you saying the black girl magic comment and all this other stuff. Yeah, that's crossing the line. And you have to realize, like, yeah, you can't be running out here with that white privilege and starting to say things to people. And it's not about, oh, well, I can't say nothing more. And I think that's what this whole, like, with the GOPs and stuff, they try to make it seem like, oh, it's a culture where we could go and comedy's back. You know, all that dumb shit, Joe Rogan, meathead, steroid injected ass. Like, oh, comedy's back because we can say inappropriate things. And it's like, I love an inappropriate joke. I like when people come out and say inappropriate shit. But if it ain't funny, and if you're going to get mad over the fact that, um, I'm making comments about whatever the case is, don't get mad about. Wait, hold on. Why am I making myself small? um, don't get mad over, the message and stuff that I'm putting out here. And then I saw this picture too. So I want to show y'all this. This is, damn, I did not want to close that. It's like all of a sudden I'm pressing the wrong damn buttons today. Because I want to show you some of these pictures and stuff of Kandy and the girls. Out here living their life. They're doing their, they're about to take a bow, like they're Rihanna. And they got their little outfits on, Aja gut sticking out. But you know what? We're not gonna sit up in here and police people's bodies. People's bodies are their bodies, and the girls is out here doing what they need to be doing. So we're gonna leave them in their bodies and stuff alone. I was like, wait, where's the other picture that I had? And it was an even better one. Oh, I got it. So with this one, this is another photo. Why y'all look like y'all about to go wrestling? Like it's like drag wrestling. Remember that episode of RuPaul's Drag Race when they had the girls wrestling? So it's given that. So I agree with half of the House of Aja. Dahlia and Tsunami out here minding their business. But Aja always gonna be the mother hen because she is the mother of the House of Aja. And Kandy, she ain't no hair on her tongue. So she always gonna say what she wanna say out here. But it's like, Elliott, this is where you should have just minded your business. You shouldn't have said nothing. You decided to jump in the conversation, taking things completely out of context. You didn't know what was going on because of something Chevelle Brooks had said about, I guess, I don't know, maybe she heard things or she saw stuff on social media and decided to comment on it. But and Chevelle's an icon. So, I guess people take what she says at, they take into consideration what she says and they feel like, oh, she opened a critique. But I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story? If there's any more that you want to add to the situation and giving y'all overall thoughts, I definitely want to hear from y'all. So in the meantime, y'all know what to do. Let me know in the comments down below. No, it wasn't Nicole or Mistress. I was like, it was Chevelle. So, that's what I was like, I could not remember that girl name. So it was like somebody who actually wasn't on Drag Race. Isn't Chevelle Brooks? I'm trying to remember. Isn't that Mistress's mother? If I'm not mistaken. He said, I too am a product of an interracial relationship, but if you look at my dating intimate history, it's nothing but white, and they choose me first. Even in 4th grade, I dated 2 white girls, or as they like to say, YT. I always thought it was white, but people pronounce it YT. I'm like, YT. We don't pronounce the initial. I thought it was literally white. But yeah, a lot of times it is that when you have, especially when you're like, you got exotic features, people go after you with that. Oh yeah, Jiggly's mother too. Mm. 'Cause I remember Jiggly mentioning her. So, Chevelle been around for a long time. All right, so speaking of Drag Race, we're gonna get into some more Drag Race news and talk about Lexi Love because apparently she fighting to keep her name, and she said that she had lost a lot of gigs. So yeah, after making it to the finals on RuPaul's Drag Race season 17, Lexi Love is out in these streets trying to maintain what's left of her name because apparently they said that there is a woman who is a AI actor or whatever, but she also does corn, or as some people like to say, adult cinematography. She filed a trademark infringement complaint. So now, according to Out magazine, Love has shared a statement with Out in response to the allegations that her name is violating copyright owned by a self-identified AI architect and sustainable fashion entrepreneur named Lexi Love. That's why I'm confused because we're not seeing one headline, especially on Deadline. They were talking about a porn actor's trademark infringement. So she do porn and she do AI architecture and sustainable fashion. I'm like, what? What job is that? Like, first of all, you're not even a real person. You fighting to keep your name from a damn bot. So she said, I've been using Lexi Love since 2009. She was apparently being tagged as me, which is how she discovered me. And then 2 months after I was announced on TV, she reinstated an old trademark she no longer had and is now attacking my social media, Cameo, and streaming music. I had 3 venues pull out and cancel dates because she is sending them all a cease and desist email and just harassing them. She made a post speaking negatively about my trials and tribulations I open up about on the show, including my HIV. My team reached out and have no return communication from her, and she just keeps reporting my accounts. I offered a licensing agreement terms, anything, but she is just continuing to attack online. At this point, I'm considering and more likely will be having a name me contest or something like that so I can keep as much of my brand and social media intact before she ruins everything. Call yourself Miss Lexi or whatever the case is. And bitch, you can't have that because that ain't your name. So, or Lexi Alexis, I don't know, something like that. But yeah, um, I would say get attorneys involved, but then I realized like not everybody can afford to be in litigation and spending a whole lot of money to go up against somebody when it's like you literally are a trans woman trying to make money out here off of being on RuPaul's Drag Race. And you already know that window was only open but so much before we usher in season 18 and we done forgot about the girls in 17. So I totally get it. Now she said, this is something I've been quietly dealing with for a short month now, and my team, who's small but mighty, and has definitely been taking is it's definitely taking toll on us. I don't know what happened, but the drag gods were looking down upon me yesterday or whatever it was. I'm on my way to Australia for a tour, so time is a little wonky for me right now, but it has been and so uplifting, excuse me, to see all the fans and community coming together to support me as I navigate this. Excuse me. I've been through so much this year, and it was never what I picture my journey to look like, but I continue to learn and grow every day, but taking it step by step. Now, they said a similar abbreviated version of Lexi's statement was first reported on Deadline. Out has also reached out to reps for the actor named Lexi Love. Paramount, MTV, World of Wonder have also been contacted for comment. Now, um, in case you're wondering, what are the content violations about? So now, a Twitter username at Lexi Love, described as a SAG-AFTRA actor, AI architect, and sustainable fashion entrepreneur at Lexi Love Runway and at Lexi Love Universe, accused RuPaul's Drag Race Season 17 finalist Lexi Love of copyright infringement, writing, the RuPaul's Drag Race Season 17 contestant using the name Lexi Love on Paramount Plus, MTV, World of Wonder platforms is not me. Use of my name by RuPaul's Drag Race contestant Barnes and affiliated promotional platforms, including in performance, booking, DBA, and promotional materials, is unauthorized, non-consensual, and constitutes trademark infringement. For absolute clarity, I was not a contestant. Well, bitch, we know that. On RuPaul's Drag Race, I'm not transgender. I am not a person living with HIV. I'm not a person who was formerly unhoused. I've never been trafficked in the sex market. I'm not suffering. Okay, so what is all that? Like, it feels like you're trying to read almost. But I guess because of the show and the acts on social media have been confusing, this is what people have been tagging her in based off of what we were seeing on the show. So now you got to come out here and be messy with this shit. So I've never been trafficked in the sex market. I'm not suffering from drug addiction, nor have I ever attended rehab or drug addiction for drug addiction. This personal disclosures were made publicly by the contestant while using my name in commerce without consent. I didn't know you actually owned the rights to the name. Like I need to see the legal copyright stuff because this reminds me a lot of. Remember back in the day how we have Vanessa Williams, we have Vanessa L. Williams. So it could be similar to that, where it's like Vanessa Williams, I guess the actress who was on Soul Food and Candyman, not well, technically they both were on Soul Food, but Comfort Zone Vanessa Williams had to go and put L in her name because the other Vanessa who was in Candyman and the Soul Food TV series who played the Vivica Fox character, by the way. She she had to go, and she was, I guess, named Vanessa Williams before Vanessa, the other Vanessa Williams, was out here acting and doing that other stuff. So I guess she was already in the SAG, the union, and all other stuff before the other Vanessa. But Vanessa, the pop singer, she's, well, no shade, she's more well known. So she said, such infringement causes significant brand confusion, damages my personal and professional reputation, and creates false associations with experiences and conditions that do not apply to me or my brand. Lexi Love is my federally registered trademark. Okay, so she got the trademark information saying USPTO register number 7727806. So Miss Mama does have this trademark with first commercial use in 2004 and a prior WIPO domain dispute when confirming exclusive rights, and even had the link put into the article. So a Twitter user tagged Drag Race star Lexi Love, RuPaul's Drag Race, RuPaul, Paramount Plus, Paramount Pictures, MTV, and World of Wonder in the post, adding, taking my name and using it without consent, you are erasing my 2 decades legacy. Girl, nobody knows who you are, though. No shade. So you sitting there talking about they're erasing you. And I thought that Lexi Love, the drag queen, um, made more cultural significance to your name than you did. It seemed like you're trying to capitalize, or maybe you just hate getting tweeted with all this other mess. I don't know. It could be up two minds with it. Saying that using my her consent, you are erasing my 2 decades legacy and identity actions that directly contradict the values of consent, authenticity, and respect that LGBTQ plus and marginalized communities champion for. Immediately sees all use of the Lexi Love name. And then in another tweet, Lexi wrote, cease and desist, unauthorized use of registered trademark. Lexi Love, to whom it may concern. She's still writing these formal things. Okay, we got it, sis. We got it. And then wrote in another post, oh, look, stopped in by my LinkedIn. Hi, lawyer at Paramount Picks here to network, bracing for the headlines or sweating those at RuPaul's Drag Race, hashtag Emmy, at Television Academy, noms over hashtag trademark infringement after utilizing at SAG-AFTRA actor Lexi Love's name in commerce with consent, creating brand confusion, or that, okay, it's still the same thing over and over. She's just been tagging every goddamn body so that way she can get some attention. And then somebody went on Twitter and read her talking about why this line seemed like it was taken for drag, they use it against her. Good luck finding that career you speak of. And then Lexi wrote, my career is not something I'm searching for. It's one I built over 2 decades. I have been a SAG-AFTRA actor since 2015, appearing in motion pictures directed by Adam Rifkin, Adrian Stewart, Josh Lucas, and Scott Moore, and performing alongside actors such as Penn Jillette and Richard Hatch. Bitch, get the fuck out of here. Number one, Penn Jillette is freaking from Penn and Teller, and Richard Hatch from Survivor. Really, girl? This is the peak. Like, if you were somebody you was doing stuff with Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr., fuck, even if you was doing something with Sydney Sweeney, I would give you your props. Richard fucking Hatch, get out of here with this. Come on. So, and then she said, as a voice actor, I contributed to Rockstar Games' Grand Theft Auto 5 as character number 4. Oh, look at you. You didn't even get a name. They called you character number 4. I worked as an associate producer on Disposition, an executive producer on multiple projects, and in 2019, I served on the Motion Picture Nominating Committee for the 26th Annual Screen Actors Guild. I'm the founder of Lexi Love Runway, a sustainable fashion brand creating collections with ecological themes. I don't know her or who wears that shit. Alternative materials and ESG aligned design practices. So she's giving y'all her whole entire resume, and I am too tired to want to read off all this stuff. I still don't care. But um so to get to the point, because I don't feel like going through all of this is too much. So they said, so what this has done so far is that the companies have already removed the Drag Race star from their platforms. So there are a couple of places where her cameo, she doesn't have that because of the whole situation. And now everybody's spooked and nervous and don't want to work with her. So Lexi's cameo page is gone. Her Spotify page still exists, but it no longer includes any original songs by the Drag Race star, such as the grand finale song Classic. So that's been taken off. And then Apple Music, the page still exists, but now only includes one song. So it's the same thing. They just took off everything, but just left Classic. Amazon Music. it still exists and is active. It includes the drag artist She's Giving song as well as the remix of that track. And she does have her Instagram, her Twitter, and TikTok is still active. And now she wrote this. She said, due to, and wait, hold on, because I actually have the Instagram. So let me pull that one up for y'all so y'all can see that. Regarding this whole situation. So yeah, so she said, due to recent trademark allegations by Selena Scola, aka Lexi Love, I do not know if my accounts will remain active. Unfortunately, so be warned, if you notice my music removed from Spotify and iTunes, this is also why. Please stay tuned. So yeah, she's dealing with that. And this story is currently still developing, so we're in the early stages of it. But I say at this point, it's not worth the headache. The juice is not worth the squeeze. So maybe I do think that it'd be a good idea. Like, if you don't want to spend all this time in litigation and dealing with all this stuff that has been going on in regards to this lady complaining about trademark stuff, then yeah, go change her name. Queens do it all the time. Look, RuPaul tried to give Heidi Ann Closet a new name and she refused to take it, which she should have. But that gate got her a little bit of fame and momentum or whatever. So it's like, well, people know me as Heidi Ann Closet, might as well keep it. But I feel like Lexi, just go by Lexi. Get rid of Love. And or do Lexi with two eyes. So come up with something interesting and creative. Miss Lexi, Lexi with two eyes, or whatever the case is. The Lexi. Just get rid of Love because this girl got the name trademarked. You may have to come around if you don't want to have to deal with being up in court and a lot of your business endeavors to be taken away, you're just going to have to change your name, and then they just got to make a big announcement what your new name is, and they'll still book you with that. And people just have to get on board. Things evolve and change all the time. So what are you going to do? So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding Lexi Love and this whole name debacle? It's a mess. It was a lot, but I was like, okay, I'm getting bored with this chick because she's just going on and on and on and on and on and on and on about this mess. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. It said, as for gay marriage, I think they have it in place for those already married. Oh, yeah. So that's probably why she was telling them. Sounds like Lexi didn't handle her business. She should just change her last name and move on. Yeah. I was like, yeah, just get a new last name. Lexi Love. I'm like, it do sound a little bit porn starish. So just change the name. I agree with that. It's like, it's time to get a new name. Just change the last name. You can still keep Lexi. Like, people know you as Lexi. So keep Lexi. Just change Love. Or like I said, Lexi with two eyes. I was thinking Elliott with two T's. That's that was like Lexi with two eyes. So I'm like, just do that. I hate to tell Scream 5 and 6 fans, people are hella excited for 7, given the word of mouth. Markable Trump. Oh yeah, I saw the video for that. It's funny how you went and sent me that. As soon as you sent me that, I already saw a tweet from Critical Overlord to my go to Marco Beltrami's page ASAP. And so I went over there and I saw that he posted the video and everything about that they've been working on the music for the movie. And yeah, it's getting a lot of rave reviews. I mean, it's getting good reviews so far. I'm like how it's coming along. And like I told you, Spyglass have said that they're excited for this movie. They already started pushing for part 8. So I'm actually hoping that they do leave us on a cliffhanger with this one. Like, we don't even know who the killer or ers are, and they leave us hanging for the next one. So if they could play it into like a trilogy type situation, like a Halloween 2018, but we don't get like a resolution at the end, then or it's like, yeah, Michael got trapped in the house, but then they let him out. We already know how that whole thing went. They need to go ahead and do that. He said, "You sound so good reading somebody with this mic, Richard fucking Hatch." I was thinking now, like, yeah, because this mic sounds so much better. It's like it resonates more. I'm hearing the feedback in the ears, and I'm like, I can't wait to watch the playback and see how all this sounds. And then also, I just stopped holding this mic because I'm like, my arm was starting to hurt. I don't know why, so I just got it leveled up on this box and like next to my mouth. I was like, I don't want to be holding on to this mic. I mean, if it still sounds the same, like I'm sounds close enough and good enough. It's good enough for me. Down, you can tell a love letter to us diehards. Gen Z might be pissed, but so many been wanting a Sydney focused storyline. Yeah, since part 2. That's how long we've been wanting a Sydney focused story. So I'm excited. That's why I hate when all these pundits are going around making up stuff. Like people talking about, oh, they know how long Sydney's, like, how many minutes total Sydney's in the movie? It was about 42 minutes. I'm like, y'all pulling shit out y'all ass. I didn't believe that not one damn second. But y'all was sitting there talking about, oh well, they already clocked in the amount of screen time that Nev Campbell has in the movie. I'm like, you ain't seen a lick of this damn movie. You don't even know. They're still editing this. I think they've done editing actually, but now they're working on the music. So Marco is watching the film and they're coming up with the music and all that other stuff, and as you know, the scorers do. Yeah, that whole Billy Loomis story thing, I thought it was an interesting angle to go, but I was kind of over it. That's an interesting idea. They were good at executing what Scream was. Radio Silence almost destroyed that franchise. Gen Z is already mad. Nev and Kevin is shitting on the last two films. I don't blame him. It didn't feel like Scream. And my thing is, just because you liked the movie, then that's fine. If you liked those last two Scream movies, that's great. But it did not feel like a Scream movie. It just felt like your run-of-the-mill slasher that started taking on a multitude of different themes. I did like the chase sequences that we had in part 6. I hope they incorporate a lot of that in and the elaborate set pieces. I hope they incorporate that in this new one. But I do feel like we need to go back to what we loved about the original movie. The suspense, the funny one-liners, and that sort of thing. I still watch the original Scream, and I just, even though I know how it's always gonna work out, just the whole buildup of all the different scenes and things, I just love about that film. It definitely changed how we view slasher films today, where they just went completely against all the rules that were put in place. So I used to be friends with a Barbie, but then got not a booger sugar addict. hmm All right, y'all. So now let's get into. I was like, wait, let me close that. Come on, Barbie, let's go. Oh, wait, did I hit it? Yeah, I did. Okay. So now let's move on. Let's get into our final topic. So now the queens have been revealed of who's going to be sashaying into the UK workroom, UK hon, on the 7th season of Drag Race UK, which for many of you that know, I'm a huge fan of Drag Race UK because I feel like the show to me really embodied, like, to me, I always feel like RuPaul is the most alive and awake and alert. Like, she literally looks like she wants to be there when it comes down to Drag Race UK. There's some other spinoffs I'm like, it's all right. Like, I haven't watched Slays and Royale though, but I'm hearing good things about it. I need to get around and watch that. Drag Race France is currently airing. We have season 7 of Drag Race UK coming soon, I think next month. We also have don't we have Canada versus the World, something or another. There's a bunch of others that's coming out. And then of course, the top of 2026, we'll have the regular season of Drag Race. So with all that being said, it said, following an initial teaser for the 7th installment of Drag Race UK earlier this month, the cast of season 7 is now crystal clear after a sickening gem-toned promo. The cast is comprised of 12 glamazons from across the UK, featuring some excellent drag names, 5 London divas, and oh yeah, the drag daughter of Sasha Colby. So without another wig toss, that'll be her second child that goes on Drag Race, where we had Carey Colby, and now we have another girl. And now, without another wig toss, here are the girls competing to succeed Kyron Thrax and enter the Drag Race UK Hall of Fame. Me, quiet as it's kept. Y'all already know Kyron Thrax. She was cute or whatever. I was pulling for my girl Lavoie, who I would like for her to get it, but look, she's about to do Strictly Come Dancing. She's out here doing other shows and things of that nature. So she doesn't, I guess, need the show. But hold on, because I was like, let me actually pull this one out because I'm going to have to do a slideshow for y'all because I was like, it's going to take a lot for me to come up in here and pull all these things. So we have our first queen, who is none other than Katrin Feelings. Is it supposed to be Catching Feelings? So Catherine Feelings is 26 and from the Rhondda Valley of Wales. She told the BBC, I've been doing drag for about 4 years now. It started off in my bedroom and I love the attention. And then after lockdown, I just thought life's too short. Chuck yourself out there, Cat. That's what's the worst that can happen? Probably end up on Drag Race. Look at me now. So yeah, it was like a lot of the girls I realized have come from performing in their bedrooms and doing online drag and all this other stuff because of the pandemic. And now it's like, you know what? Let me just throw my hat in the ring and see if I want to actually compete on the show, and here she is. So our next queen is Taris Mungardi. No relation to Aura Mayari. I don't know, their names sounded familiar. Now, Taris Mungardi is 27 and from Brighton. She says that her drag, in its truest form, is a celebration of Black female pop culture, adding that she loves Janet Jackson, Beyonce, Megan Thee Stallion, Doechii, Nicki Minaj, Janelle Monáe, and Grace Jones. She also says that for her, drag is all about Black queer joy. And basically, looking on her looks and stuff, she definitely gives me a vibe of like Megan Thee Stallion, Doechii, Nicki Minaj, Janelle Monáe, very Grace Jones and stuff in regards of like how she paints and the overall looks. So I could definitely feel like if I was to ever see Miss Mama in a setting of her performing at a club or whatever, I'm definitely feeling like that would be up in her playlist. Now, the next queen that we're going to go to is Sally TM, who is 27 and from South Shields near Newcastle. She's been doing drag for 10 years and she's inspired by hit video game series The Sims. She told the BBC, I love the video game and Sally's a non-playable character in the Sims TM game. She was burning the town up and I was just like, this diva. At the time, I was an animator and I love designing weird outfits for her. So now our next queen that we're going to go to after that is Celexa Diction. That's funny. Select's Addiction. So Select's Addiction is 26 and from Leeds. She started doing drag when she was 18, and now she has her own club night in Leeds 3 nights a week, where she gets queens from all over UK together. She told the BBC, I love to exaggerate the female silhouette to the extreme. My breasts range from double F to double Z. Jesus, can you imagine walking around with all that? I have about 12 pairs of giant breastplates. They take up a lot of space, so I store them in my parents' garage. So that would be quite funny to see her up on the show with like similar to Jimbo, where she had these ginormous boobs. So now our next queen that we have is Pasty, who is 30, is unsurprisingly originally from Cornwall, but now lives in East London. She is inspired to do drag after watching Miss Doubtfire and Hocus Pocus. Of course, every gay boy's favorite movies would be Miss Doubtfire and Hocus Pocus. So when she was young, she explains, I love Hocus Pocus lead witch, of course, Winifred Sanderson, sorry, played by Bette Midler, by the way. So much that when I was little kid, I used to put clothes pegs on my fingers to act out my very own Winifred fantasy. Child, get in line because we always doing that. So our next queen is Nyong Bella. Why did I hear that name? Nyong Bella. It sounds like she's Asian, but no, she's a black girl. So she's 25 and from London. She describes herself as a life-size Bratz doll and fashion editorial come alive. She's also been doing drag for 2 years, but now she's very much a fixture of London's ballroom scene, explaining that the categories I normally walk are fashion, killer face, and every now and again, I do realness. Obviously. And she definitely does give Femme Queen realness because Miss Mama is painted and that face is snatched. So I'm living for it. Now let's get into page 3, who I believe is the one who is the drag daughter of uh Sasha Colby, if I'm not mistaken. So page 3 is 28, and she's from London via Surrey. She told the BBC, I've done all sorts of random stuff in my drag career. You might have seen me at brunches all around London. Sometimes I go to bingo. I have performed with Kimberly Wyatt from the Pussycat Dolls. I worked really hard to get where I am, but I feel that I've reached a wall and I want to break through it and see what else I can do. And I feel like with the show, it definitely will get you um it'll definitely push you out there in the world where you can go beyond, once you get on Drag Race, it definitely catapults you to a different type of stardom, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So now our next queen that we're going to go to is Elle Vosquet, who is based in Belfast. And she's 22 and has been doing drag for 4 years. She says that the most important part of her drag is to have fun, adding, I'm sick and tired of drag queens who think it's all about looking like a supermodel. That's boring. Just go out and have fun. And look, no shade to the girls that be doing that are the fashion queens, but I do agree with that. I feel like with drag is all about it's all about having fun. It's all about whatever your vision and your identity is in regards of what you want to represent as a drag queen. It's not always about, oh, you got to to have the most expensive outfit on, or your waistline has to be snatched for the guards, or you have to have the best beat face, or whatever the case was. Once upon a time, before there was a drag race, like drag was about, whatever you wanted to make it. And I kind of miss the days where the girls was doing that. And I feel like some people be out here compromising their Christianity just so they can go on this show and because they feel like the show is going to give them a better life. Okay, so last year we had someone by the name of Lavoie. This year we have someone named Voila. Or it might be Viola, but I feel like calling her Voila. So, or that might be her name. Who knows? Now, Voila from Coventry is also 22. She's known as the UK's only violin playing and singing drag queen, explaining, "You'll hear my gorgeous vocals and tremendous fiddling, and you'll also laugh. Maybe more at me, but I will certainly make you laugh. I'm a very sophisticated queen in the sense that I play a lot of classical music at my gigs. My favorite stuff to play is Bach, Beethoven, and Mozart." Funny enough, speaking of which, it was funny. I was just thinking about this, like when I was telling you about earlier in the show, the Mayhem Ball. When you're seating everybody and before the show starts, Gaga's in there with the little screen in the background where it's talking about the people that write in their little things or whatever the case is. They're playing like symphony opera music because I guess it's the opera house. That's the whole theme, and they're playing that type of music in there. So I thought it was relatively rather than, "Oh, we're gonna play dance music." It's like, no, they're playing this opera music. So now the next queen that we have is Chai T Grande. No relation to Ariana. So 32-year-old Chai T Grande is from London and has been doing drag for a little over 4 years, basically. Like Katrin Feelings, she's also a drag child of lockdown, saying she says it's important for her to represent her Thai heritage, which makes sense of why she's calling herself Chai T Grande. If you look at her, you see she got a little Asian up in her. I didn't feel that connected to my Asianness. Now I'm more confident and have a stronger sense of my identity, so I can bring forward those elements into my performances. Looks and references. I am completely unapologetic about who I am because being mixed race is fantastic. And yes, that is something that, we always feel a little guilty of like celebrating, if you're an individual, if you're a person of color, that whole thing of like, well, if you speak a language, whatever, people are so quick to get a little, nervous or whatever the case is, and they want to kick you out of the country or whatever the case. So it's like a lot of people have a hard time identifying or being confident in who they are with their heritage. But now it's all about embracing it. Like embrace who you are. Don't let the haters win. Go out and you just be your authentic self and live it up. So I'm glad she's finally come to that. Now here's a name that I do find quite the cackle. Bonnie and Clyde, like Heidi and Closet. We have Bonnie and Clyde. So Bonnie and Clyde is 30 and originally from Dublin. She's been performing since the mid 2010s, firstly in Dublin, then San Francisco, and after that she moved to Gran Canaria. She now lives in Manchester. Describing her style of drag, she says, "At a Bonnie and Clyde show, you get the full package. We might have a little comedy, a spoken word lip sync number before we move on to something fierce and dancey in a bodysuit. And then we do a ballad, and mostly you will be enamored by my presence and my glamorousness." And so, last but certainly not least, we have Bones. No, not the show that starred David Boreanaz, but we got Bones. Bones and all. She's pretty though. Now, Bones is a 25-year-old witchy boho queen from Soho, London. She's a fine art graduate and has been doing drag for 7 years, saying she started by accident. And what got her into the whole drag scene was she said she started out as a club kid and then she met high priestess drag queen Jodie Harsh and she whisked me away. Now, for those of y'all who know, I love me some Jodie Harsh. Anytime Jodie Harsh comes out with a dance, like a mix, a DJ mix, especially on Apple Music, oh, I'm definitely be like listening to that, getting my life and working out at the gym. So I'm a huge fan of Jodie Harsh. But hold on, because I want to see if I can pull up the full cast photo. Because it's always when I get to that last one. This is how I used to do my pictures before. I just started like, okay, I don't want to pop up. But Overall, I want to say this. I'm looking forward to this new season of Drag Race. I'm a fan of Drag Race UK. That's like one of the few international shows that I absolutely love. RuPaul looks really good in this picture. A lot of I don't know, like how they play some of the queens in the background. It looks a little weird, but um, out of all the shows and everything, I'm definitely excited to see this upcoming season of Drag Race. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story? You excited for the upcoming season of Drag Race UK? And all that good stuff. So, whatever your thoughts are on this matter, definitely let me know in the comments down below. This promo poster looks a mess. It makes me claustrophobic through the screen. Yeah, the promo poster did look a little weird. I don't like the placement of how the queens looked in the background. It just looked like they were floating. Like y'all need better people out here putting these pictures and things together. I don't know. This is like I wasn't really that excited, but I am interested in seeing how these queens are because one of the things I will say about Drag Race UK, we may not know a lot of these queens, but they really do put it together in regards of like the challenges. And RuPaul always seems like he loves doing the UK version of the show. So he always seems like he has a ball when he's over there between that and the American one. And I guess maybe I'm not in a drag race drought. Well, we'll see how this show works out when it airs. We're wearing the same dress from the 1993. Okay. The same VMAs with a picture with Kurt Cobain was taken. And you know, Kurt Cobain was a huge RuPaul fan. So, child, I done gave y'all a 4-hour show. So, yeah, we're at the end of the 4-hour, well, we almost 4 hours. In 3 minutes, it will be. So, yeah, we're at the end of the show. I want to thank you all for tuning in to the latest episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. One final time, if you have not already, please hit that like button. If you are new to the channel, hit support by hitting that subscribe. And also be sure to smash that notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. I won't know when I'll be able to come on and give y'all a show. I'm going to try to give y'all one this week. It's increased like so much busyness going on. If I can I might have to probably come on a Wednesday or something and try to put something together and do like an early morning one because this week is going to be insane. Like literally 7 days straight, I'm going to be doing event after event after event after event because the season's starting to start. You know, a lot of the busy season's starting up. So tomorrow night, I don't know. Tomorrow morning, I would have been doing one, but I would have to really get off here and start putting topics and things together. It might be a lot. So Tuesday definitely is like I'm doing Gaga, so I'm not gonna have time to do it. And then on Wednesday, probably I'll have to give y'all an early morning one. So that'll probably be the next time that I come on and give y'all one. But I will be cutting up the topics and I'll be spreading it out so that way I don't get lost in the algorithm source. So yeah, I'll be around doing some things. But I want to thank you all for tuning in. Love you for constantly, your consistent support on the show. The channel is growing almost at 3K. I know it's taking me a long time to get to that point, but things are getting better over on this side. So, yes, love you all for watching. Thank you for your continued support. And until next time, ciao, darlings.